Boxing Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the Boxing Debate Arena. It's not an open lines show, but it's a very interesting show because we're going to be asking a very important question. Is Canelo versus Crawford a mismatch? Before we get into this topic, shout out to everybody in the chat. Gunsbox, Frankie, Ralph, Unreal, J. Colt, Rappa Shrunken Company, King Arthur Boxing, The One. Who else do we have here? Nightmare. Plenty of people here. Super Sardonic. Skull Kid. All right. Why am I asking this question? Well, because see, months ago, before this fight was announced, we had a lot of people saying that this was a mismatch. This fight shouldn't happen. Canelo's just too big. Crawford is just too small. However, since this fight has been announced, we're starting to see people pick Crawford. They think Crawford's going to win the fight, which is fine. I mean, you can pick whoever you want. But the thing is, these guys are picking Crawford to win the fight, but they still want to call this a mismatch. So how can it be both? It cannot be a mismatch and then you're picking Crawford to win. And it's not like they're saying, oh, well, there's a chance Crawford can win, but it's a mismatch. No, they're saying Crawford is going to win the fight. He's better than Canelo. He has more skills. He moves better around the ring. He has way more skills. That's what they say. They say way more skills, and so he's going to win the fight. So that means that they factored in all the disadvantages that Crawford may have in terms of size and power, but to them, it doesn't matter. Crawford's still a better boxer, so much better that he's going to beat Canelo. But it's still a mismatch. No, it cannot be both. So we're going to get to the bottom of this tonight. Mars Boxeo, thank you for your super chat. He says, BDA, the home of boxing, man. Nelo by TKO. Yeah, we're going to be taking down early predictions, I guess, because, we're still in June here. The fight's in September, but we can take some predictions so people cannot start flip-flopping after the fight. So again, the question is this a mismatch? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is Crawford going to win? If you think Crawford's going to win, then it's not a mismatch. If you think Crawford's going to win, it's not a mismatch. We're going to open also the phone lines, and we're going to invite a bunch of people here on the panel. We're going to do that right now. Let's see. Oh, shit. Can I invite this person? This. Let's start with this. King KO says, dude looked shook after the press conference. Who? Crawford? Because he was pretty interesting what the Turkey said. Turkey started saying that he doesn't want any Tom and Jerry bullshit. He said it again at the press conference. And it looked to me like Crawford was a little bit, shook. Yeah, that's the right word. He was shook. Obviously, his plan is not going to be to trade with Canelo, and it shouldn't be. I mean, I don't think that's what Turkey's saying. You should just stand your ground and throw punches like crazy. But maybe Crawford was thinking of fighting like he fought Postol in an extremely boring fight where one could say that he actually kind of ran in that fight. Maybe that was his plan, but now maybe he'll have to switch it up a little bit. Who knows? Maybe he doesn't give a fuck. Skull Kid, thank you for your super chat. Canelo is gonna win by unanimous decision. All right, I need to start writing this down.
Butcher, should I start inviting people too, or?
Yeah, invite some people, please, because I don't have them as friends apparently. So I should add people as friends. Skull Kid, Canelo by UD. I think somebody else, and Mars Boxel said Canelo by TKO. Don't be afraid, people, to give us your prediction. I know some people don't want to give it to us because they're waiting to flip flop. Oh, I told you before the fight this was gonna happen. Told you. We're gonna write it down in stone. What else? Yeah, BDA, try to invite the people I ask you to invite, please. We're gonna keep this spicy.
All right, all right. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it's a good point there, Butcher. That after fights, I mean, we've been through our share of big fights, and afterwards, there's always some people saying, "Well, it's because of this or it's because of that that my prediction didn't pan out." And hey, listen, if you can identify a valid excuse about why you got your prediction wrong, sometimes it happens. Sometimes you don't notice things until they happen in the ring. But one of the things I'm hearing here is that there is no longer a size disadvantage for Crawford. And by virtue of that, a lot of people out there are picking Crawford because they're saying, well, we thought that one of Canelo's big advantages was the size. Now we're seeing that there isn't that much of a size advantage, if any. And Crawford is the more skilled, talented fighter. Therefore, Crawford's going to win. So, I mean, are people going to start saying if Canelo wins? Are people going to start saying, well, he only won because he was big?
Right. No, right.
We need to establish that from the get-go.
Right. And if you're picking Crawford, again, then in your opinion, this is not a mismatch. And therefore, if Canelo wins the fight, then you have to give him credit. Because some people don't want to give Canelo credit if he wins because, it was a mismatch, he's too big. But at the same time, you're picking Crawford because you're saying he's so much better. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Is it or isn't it a mismatch? That's what we want an answer to this question. All right. What else here? In the meantime, as we wait for people to jump in, I wrote here Crawford's top 5 best wins. And you guys can disagree with me, obviously, in the chat. So we're going to go through my list. But before that, we're going to read a super chat. A super chat from Marty McFly. Marty McFly, back from the future here. He says, put me down for Canelo unanimous decision. All right. Marty McFly. Unanimous decision. All right. I wrote it down. I'll add all these predictions to the list later.
I'm curious to get Gonzalo's view on this fight, even though it's still a couple of months away. I want to hear what the Gonz has to say.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the exchange. So Canelo's going to take punches, but he's going to look to catch Crawford in the exchange. Sort of like, Bucho, like when he was trading with Jaime Munguia, and Munguia was sneaking, he was getting some shots in, clean punches. And but Canelo was not too content, or he was okay with taking that punch, remaining in place, and exchanging. Where if the opponent was getting the better of the exchange, he was being patient enough inside the pocket to land his perfect shot on the inside BDA. So it was kind of like that. It's going to come down to Canelo having one or two opportunities to land the perfect punch, where when that punch lands, he's going to put Crawford on his ass. And those two knockdowns, in my opinion, are going to be the difference in a fight where, Canelo's going to get hit too for the reason that I just mentioned, to look for the perfect punch placement. That it will be a close fight, but nonetheless, Canelo will win like a split decision with the two knockdowns in his favor.
So you're saying it's going to be more difficult than the Charlo fight?
It's going to be a little more difficult. It's going to be because I think Timothy Bradley mentioned it a few weeks ago, and it caught my attention where he said that Crawford's going to be like hyper vigilant. He's going to be all his 5 senses are going to be in tune to knowing that this is the moment where he can make a mistake. But eventually, this is boxing, and when you're trading and the other guy's getting into position and you let your shots off, then that's the window of opportunity inside that wheelhouse where, that guy throws. But, what makes it work for Canelo is the chin. Yes, it's the size, but he was also a small guy that went up, kind of like Crawford's doing. Maybe not exactly the same because every physical body is different. But it's the chin that allows Canelo to be in the pocket and catch a shot, block it, or take the punch and throw his back, while not making a concerted effort to swerve away from the punch and losing that distance and timing. So he'll rather sacrifice, get in the position, block the shot or take it while remaining in place and getting the shots off in finding that opportunity, and he will have that opportunity because he always does. Right. So it's his Canelo's chin that allow him to get in placement and that position, but can Crawford's chin be able to take that perfect punch that Canelo's going to be looking, seeking, and eventually land? I don't know how many times, because when Crawford does get up, that's when he's going to make the corrections and be hyper vigilant.
Can Crawford hurt Canelo, or at least get his respect?
Crawford hurt Canelo.
Yeah.
Depends. Damn, I'm hearing TJ. The dogs are howling like really loud. He can, because he's got long arms, and he does this thing where he takes a step back and he throws that long arm forward and catches you when you least expect it. Right? It's one of those things kind of like Navarrete. People think, oh, he's not that tall, but I'm kind of like I'm just a certain distance. Like I'm away enough where he's not going to clip me. And sometimes you don't expect that the long arm is coming, the long arm with 2-3 inches, where when you're coming in or you're taking a step back like Canelo does to swerve away from the punch to get away from it. But then Crawford, he's gonna sneak in a punch that you feel you're gonna be a certain safe distance away, but he's gonna catch you when you're not actually bracing for it. So that's the opportunity that Crawford has to land on Canelo when he takes a step back and chucks that arm forward on a counter. But can he hurt Canelo? I don't know. Probably. I had never seen it. The only time against Jose Miguel Cotto back in the day.
But
everything's possible.
Yeah,
that's right.
That Golovkin, yeah.
No, Golovkin clipped him, but I don't know about hurt.
He wasn't as hurt as in that Cotto fight where he was like 19 years old or some shit. Yeah. No, we haven't seen him hurt. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think tactically, and I'm not saying Canelo isn't tactic, but Crawford's going to have to be more tactical and think a few steps ahead of time. And I think that's how he's going to have to get respect, not from the power point of view, because he's too used to being a weight bully. And when he fights people his own size, he's not really backing them up anymore. And then I think for me, the key factor is Canelo's activity. And if he's going to, like his activity and his footwork, I think that's the factor in that fight. Because if he's not going to be that active or not really actually chase like when he did against Cole, Crawford might actually last 12 rounds.
Right. I want to get into that, but let me just read a super chat before I forget. Gene Ryu, thank you for your super chat. He says, did anyone else see Crawford gulp? Did anyone else see Crawford gulp when Turkey said he wants to see blood and no running for this fight? I'm now intrigued and looking forward to the fight. Canelo wins, but will be a close fight. Going for a TKO. I'm going to write it down. Yeah, did you guys notice anything when it came to Crawford, his reactions?
I didn't really see it.
I didn't even see it.
I didn't see. I mean, I heard because I was doing something else when that part happened, but I didn't see it. But I know you said something about that, Bucho, and now that Gene Ryu and other people, I think in the Discord too, said Crawford looks a little bit off-put by that comment. So I guess we're gonna get into that comment a little bit later on. But I didn't see it. But shout out to Gene Ryu for his contribution via the super chat.
And I agree with Gene Ryu. I noticed Crawford. He appeared a little bit like shook, like somebody said earlier. Because obviously his plan is not going to be to stand his ground and trade with Canelo. He can. I mean, and I think he can move. I mean, he's allowed to move. I mean, I don't think anybody is against that. We are against running. There's a big fucking difference.
Yeah, I don't mind lateral movement and maybe take a step back to land some power shots. But if you're gonna be doing track and field and boxing, nobody really wants to see that shit. Let's be real here.
Yeah, we don't want to see another William Skull. That was pathetic. That was pathetic.
Well, that's the thing, though. When I used to be in the industry, some guys just couldn't get up for the task, if you know what I mean.
That's the wrong industry.
Well, what I'm saying is, some people would try to do whatever they could to perform, and one of the things that I learned about that is that in front of the camera, people turn into desperate motherfuckers, and it's the same thing in the ring. That ring will turn you into a desperate motherfucker. So some people look for outs, of whether it's by running, whether it's by clinching, fouling, pretending to have been fouled and trying to take 5 minutes. It's anything can happen in the ring. So Crawford can talk all he wants about I'm different, I'm cut from a different cloth. But when he feels that Canelo power, it's plenty of people have said the same thing going into a Canelo fight. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Next thing you know, they get dropped, and from then on in, they're on the defensive. So Crawford, he's never going to have tasted this type of power before. Pretty sure he's already sparred, even before thinking about the Canelo fight, he'd already sparred with bigger guys. I mean, there is that famous footage of him sparring Carlos Adames. I forget from where it was, what year it was, but he's sparring bigger guys. So, some of these world-class guys, that's what they do. They like to spar bigger guys just in case they need to feel that type of strength. But now I'm pretty sure he's really trying to get acclimatized to that weight. And so, but it's one thing to do it with 16-ounce gloves on. It's another thing to go in there against a guy who's wearing 10-ounce gloves. So we'll see, man. I mean, we can speculate all we want, but we won't find out until it actually happens to see how Crawford reacts.
Right. And by the way, if people who just joined the show, please hit the like button. It really helps us out. And I want to provide you guys with the question again. The question of the show is this fight a mismatch? Now, why am I asking this question? Because months ago, before this fight was announced, many people were saying that this is a mismatch. Canelo's just too big, Crawford's too small. But since the fight has been announced, a lot of people are starting to pick Terence Crawford to win the fight, which is fine. You can pick whoever you want. But these people that are picking Crawford are still saying that this is a mismatch. So they're covering their bases in case Canelo wins. Right? If Canelo wins, he won because he's too big. And we won't give him any credit. But at the same time, you're picking Crawford to win the fight because you think he's so much better than Canelo. So you got to make a choice.
Exactly.
Is it a mismatch?
To an extent. And the reason why I say that, the reason why to an extent is because they both started at 140, right? One of them had to bulk up in order to, fight bigger guys. The other guy isn't really used to fighting guys his own size. And then, forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, but who are you picking in the fight?
I think the safe bet is Canelo.
Right.
But to me, I think the key factor is the activity and the footwork.
Okay, so you think it's a mismatch, but if he shows up like he did against Cole, he doesn't win the fight, I guess.
Well, the reason why I bring that up is because, he is on the decline, and it shows. We all have been seeing it.
So how can it be a mismatch then?
Because he's not really competing at that weight class.
Yeah, but to me,
he doesn't really have any.
Right, I get it. No, and I understand what you're saying, but what I don't understand is how can it be a mismatch? Because a mismatch is when you say this guy is a massive favorite over his opponent. That's a mismatch. So this isn't a mismatch because Canelo's, according to you, not like a massive favorite. So now it becomes a close fight, a potentially close fight. So it's not a mismatch.
Well, I'll just say this: if Canelo's there to show up to actually fight, and I know it's too much excessive body weight, but let's assume, it's, the younger version of him, he's lynching him point blank.
Okay. I agree with that. BDA, what do you think about this whole thing about it being at a mismatch?
Well, I'm very interested. I'm not even getting into the breakdown of the fight just quite yet, even though in other episodes we've talked about it. But I am interested in the reaction from people because, like you said, a year ago, people were saying it's a mismatch. In fact, close to a year ago, or a little bit above that or beyond that, I think Crawford had even said, "Nah, I don't feel good about this fight." Like he wasn't really interested in it because even he was saying that he was outmatched. Now all of a sudden, and it's interesting. We talked about this a year ago or a year and a half ago that once the money was going to start being dangled in front of their faces, both Canelo and Crawford were going to say, "You know what? It's actually not that much of a mismatch." Money makes people do strange things, just like a camera. And they saw the dollar signs. Crawford probably convinced himself that he does have a chance to win this fight. Canelo still believes that he's the better fighter, and so now we've got this fight. But it is interesting, like you said, because a year ago, people were saying it was a mismatch. Now you're starting to see people change their tunes. And just for historical reference, and we don't even have to go that far to see how people change their predictions. I remember when Canelo fought Charlo, when it was first announced, people were saying the same thing, mismatch. By the second week before the actual fight, so 2 weeks out, people started picking Charlo. And by fight week, I saw way more people picking Charlo than they had before. Because then people, by the fight week, people start getting crazy ideas in their head, or they start analyzing the fight or overanalyzing it, and they start thinking, well, you know what? And then they start having the pre-fight jitters. It's like, hey man, maybe if I pick the underdog and he actually wins, I can actually score one. You know what I mean? It's like I think I could actually maybe get myself a little clout. It's happened to me before too. That I remember which fight did I pick? Well, Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. I thought, you know what? I think he can actually edge that fight, because you see how Tank Davis fights, low volume, and it didn't happen because he ended up getting stopped. But then you ended up seeing Lamont Roach pretty much doing what I expected Ryan Garcia to be able to accomplish. So sometimes you just go for the gimmick pick just for the sake of it. I know Gonzalez has one of the best track records when it comes to picking fights. And he's done that a couple of times. He says, listen, I'm just going for this because I do think the underdog has a chance to win. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off, but I'm just going to make the gimmick pick just for the fun of it. Sometimes you just want to do that. And then another example, Demetrius Andrade versus Benavidez. When that fight was announced, a lot of people were picking Benavidez. He's gonna whoop him. If it gets past the 6, then it's over for Andrade. There's no way he wins that fight because his stamina stinks. By fight week, I saw a lot of people picking Andrade. In fact, I remember one week had people calling in, "Oh, Andrade's better than Caleb Plant. He has better footwork. He's gonna be able to stay away from Benavidez." Blah blah blah. And then what happened? So yeah, the fight week starts making people think strange things.
That's true. Yeah, I remember that what you said about the Charlo fight, Jermell, when he fought Canelo. A lot of people started jumping on the Jermell bandwagon a few weeks before the fight, but now I'm starting to see this people picking Crawford, and we're still in June. The fight's in September. But again, is it or isn't it a mismatch? That's what we want to know. Oh shit! I kicked you out by mistake. I was trying to kick somebody out. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think a good fraction of that picking Mel, we're picking him out of a tribal point of view.
I think so too. I think in the Andrade and the Charlo fight. By the way, somebody in the chat said that you're an idiot for saying that Crawford started at over 135. That he started his career above 135. Do you have any confirmation? I remember he had a fight.
I'll post it.
I think I know for a fact, I think he did fight Prescott. That was before the Gamboa fight, a couple of fights before the Gamboa one. I think that was at a catchweight or something. So yeah, he has fought above 130. He did fight above 135 before winning titles, but I don't know if he started his career. I think Amok said he's going to provide some information for them.
I'll look it up real quick.
Fantastic. By the way, shout out to Jane Ryu 33 says, BDA, I was at the Canelo vs. Charlo fight. The Charlo fans were pretty quiet after the first round. Yeah, I mean, that's, again, people fight week. Bucho, you remember fight? Yeah, I mean, we've been through a couple of big fights. You know what happens on fight week? You start thinking, well, what if this happens? Or well, what if this guy, the underdog, can do this? Or what if he can do that? Or all the permutations start going through your head about how the fight could end up or how it could transpire. Next thing you know, it's if you're not careful, it's like climbing a mountain. When you're above the dead zone, you start hallucinating. You start seeing things that can happen once you're at the dead zone before a fight. Mm-hmm. We're talking fight week. That's when people are at their most volatile.
That's what it's gonna get interesting when we start getting there. I mean, you're gonna start seeing people say that Crawford's going to stop Canelo. It's just going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. And that's what we want. We want craziness. We want excitement.
Action, drama, and excitement.
Yeah, exactly. Now, as we wait for more people to jump in, let's go through this list that I made. Crawford's best wins, top 5. And you guys can agree, disagree in the chat and the panel. Number 1, Gamboa. Number 2, Postol. Number 3, Sean Porter, Spence Jr., and Madrimov. What do you think about that?
As Amok calls him, Mad Rim Job.
I thought that was a controversial win, to be honest. I had that fight as a draw.
All right. But
by the way, just real quick, Amok did prove that Crawford did fight. One of these fights, though. 2008. That's when he turned pro. His first. A fight against Damon Antoine. It was 140 pounds, and he had 3 fights. at 140 pounds early in his career. So yeah, he did start off at 140.
Yep.
Yeah, but a lot of boxers do start above their weight, right?
I know, but it was just that somebody in the chat was saying Amok was an idiot for saying that.
No, it's
I mean, he's an idiot for other things, but not for this one.
exactly.
Well, I was just born that way. I'm on the spectrum. What can I say?
That's fake. He's gonna
That's
blame it on the
spectrum.
spectrum.
All right. So Gamboa, Postol, Porter, Spence, Jr., Madrimov. That makes sense, right? Or is there somebody else that I'm missing? Or somebody said Jeff Horn.
What about
Hurricane
Jeff Horn?
Hank. Jeff Horn.
Nah,
Yeah.
Jeff
What
Horn,
about-
come on.
What about the one-legged guy, cousin?
No. Benavides.
No, yeah. I'm kidding when I bring.
Okay.
You know what?
But he had a tough time with that guy, huh? Remember the first 5 rounds or something? I think some people had him losing the first few rounds.
I thought he
So-
was losing that. I didn't see him. If he was winning, I didn't have him winning by that much because
Right.
he wasn't really hitting Benavides Jr. with anything super clean.
Forgot about that fight.
Yeah, I used to call him hip hop.
Hip hop.
Hip back.
Yeah, his bow-legged. He's always hippity hopping.
Oh, he's hip.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, looks like he's skipping sometimes. I don't
yeah,
I'm not
like a pirate.
know. But
Yeah, in terms of the best win, man, listen. I'll say this before other people answer. I don't think Jeff Horn is one of his best wins. Jeff Horn made his career. You know what, Jeff Horn, another Australian, a lot like George Kambosos. That was his big fight, the Pacquiao fight, and the win. And he didn't even really win that one clean. He did a lot of holding, a lot of mauling. That referee was one of the worst referees I've ever seen. And then even then, I don't even think he won the fight clearly. I thought that fight still could have gone to Pacquiao. So that was what he made his bones off of. And it wasn't even that.
oh,
good
like
for
Bradley. Yeah, like Bradley. Remember, Bradley got a gift decision
Right.
against Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah,
Yeah, but at least he had done other things prior to
Well,
that.
it's not the
and then
same
the
level.
rest.
It's not the same level.
That's
But
true.
well, like somebody said in the chat, Jeff Horn never beat Pacquiao, in their opinion. So Crawford beating him, is that really a big deal? You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, I don't think he beat him, to be honest. And to be fair, he should have beaten him because he was inexperienced at world level. And yeah, I know he had a title, but like, who did he actually beat? He was literally
then
like a
Tim-
fucking
I mean, did we
prospect
ever
with
see
a
him
belt.
again? Did we see him after that? Jeff Horn? Did we see him again?
Yeah, we saw him getting his ass. Yeah, we saw him getting his ass.
Oh,
kicked
we're
thereafter.
talking about Jeff
Tim
Horn.
Tszyu,
Yeah.
Michael Sarafa, the male stripper, a whole bunch of people. Yeah.
So here's the deal, though, because I was going through my list, the top 5 best Crawford wins, and you look at Sean Porter is in that list. But what happened to Sean Porter after he lost to Crawford? He retired, so he basically had one foot out the door. Then Spence. I mean, where's Spence since that fight with Crawford in 2023?
Yeah, I
Where
think
has he-
Chief posted a video on Discord. I don't know when it's from, but it's Spence being interviewed about the future of his career. He goes, people say, they want me to retire, that I'm shot. And he said something along the lines of, I'll retire when I want to, or when I'm ready, something like that. But the music in the background, somebody added some like this ominous music, like, and it was interesting because he looked fat in that video. He looked swollen. And I'm thinking, yeah, this dude was, people, when you tell people that, that Crawford win over Spence wasn't really that great because Spence was compromised, they always go, you're just mad because you picked Spence to win. First of all, no, we didn't. And then they go, you weren't saying that before the fight that he was drunk. It's like, yeah, we did. Shout out to Chief and Jimmy who kept harping the point that this dude ain't the same anymore. And plenty of people had already predicted that.
Well, to be fair, he would have got lynched anyways before. Or after
Okay,
the
come on.
He would have just took a longer ass beating, maybe 1 or 2 more rounds.
Yeah, no.
Pucho, can you put some order into this? Can you add? Yeah.
How many people feed on a call like this? Only 8 people? This is crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
We got Vessel jumping in too. We got the guns. We got Amok.
Yeah.
We got the Vessel.
I want to hear Gonzalo's opinion on this, to be honest.
Well, go ahead.
There's a lot of-
Late.
Yeah, go ahead, Gonzalo.
There's a lot of things that are still unclear that are not making a lot of sense. It has to do a lot with Crawford only fighting once a year. They say he's sparring with super middleweights, obviously. Lester Martinez, What's the real reason he's taking the fight? What do you guys read in the press conference as far as it, or like they had a dinner? You know, are they're being amicable with each other, friendly? But does Crawford really want it, or is he just here for a payday? There's still a lot of shit that doesn't make a lot of sense to me yet. But we'll see.
Hey,
I think he's there for.
Go ahead.
I think he's there for another payday. Didn't he get another woman pregnant?
Oh yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, maybe he needs money. Somebody mentioned that he needs money. He needs the money.
Yeah. He's just being a father, just providing. You know.
Hey man, in this economy, in this economy, having what 7, 8 kids, I don't know how many he has. Probably the girlfriend or whatever is gonna be asking for alimony, even though they're not married. I don't know how it works over there. Probably gonna try to stiff him out of a couple of bucks. Then he's got his lifestyle. Yeah, man, that can all add up. And it's not like he's been making. He had the Spence fight, and he had a couple of good paydays with Top Rank. Top Rank were very generous with him, despite what Crawford says in his lawsuit. Which, by the way, what happened to that lawsuit? We never heard from that again. But yeah, man, I mean, it's not like he's been having those mega paydays throughout his career, so money can dry up fast. But anyway, the what I'm interested in here is that Reynoso versus Bomac rivalry. Or because it could spark, and I don't know, man. I saw Bomac standing next to Reynoso when they were having the stare down. Fucking Bomac makes Reynoso look slim.
Yeah.
Reynoso looked like Tommy Hearns next to him. I mean, it was amazing. I don't know, man. Who has the better trainer? I think that's a good question to ask.
I would say Reynoso, man. He has more world champions.
Who else does Bomac train?
Keyshawn.
Keyshawn, Nelson. That Honduran guy that people mentioned he's part that Gonzalo mentioned he's part, or is he Honduran or Guatemalan? I forget.
Guatemalan, no. Lester Martinez.
Yeah, Guatemalan.
Yeah, that's why Gonzalo told me.
He's Mexican Guatemalan.
That's why Gonzalo told me.
You're claiming him now, fucking.
No,
he actually is Mexican Guatemalan.
Oh, okay. Oh shit, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, look on his Instagram. He has pictures with like the Mexican flag and shit.
Oh, no wonder he's good.
We call that. We call those half Mexican, half Guatemalans Megualteco. That's what we're gonna call him. He's Megualteco.
Yeah, all you need is a tire. All you need is a tire to get across from Guatemala to Mexico.
Ah, come on.
How would you know?
Yeah, how would you?
I heard.
Gonzalo's done that for fun.
No.
Hey, Gonzalo, have you ever been to Guatemala or?
No, I've never been to Central or South America. I've never been to Central or South America.
Interesting.
You remind me of this white guy I used to know who snuck into the border, and he had citizenship. Like, I think he was like doing to write a paper or something. I don't know. He's being fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody who says that whenever they travel abroad. Oh, I was writing a paper, and next thing you know, they're in a brothel.
No, he really was. No, he probably did do that, but he really was.
What am I looking at here? Bucho says Canelo by stoppage. Marty McFly says Canelo unanimous decision. Okay, so we're taking the early predictions then, Bucho.
Yeah, if you want, we can wait. It's still way too early, but I know people like. Yeah, there's some people that want to wait for the weigh-ins. Remember, like Gypsy Boxing.
Oh yeah.
He needs to see them shirtless.
Gypsy.
Yeah.
Hey, Gypsy needs to return. If there's a fight, fight, that's what he used to say. Well, we used to make fun of him because he always say, "I'm not making a pick until the weigh-in. I want to see how they look." So then people started saying, "Oh, he wants to see him shirtless. He wants to see him in their underwear."
Yeah, he wants to see him girthy. That's why.
Ah, come on. But
see how much Terrence Crawford's power will carry. I know he didn't get. We know he didn't get the knockout against Madrimov. But prior to that, he had been on a knockout streak in the welters. So that's a guy that's power carried from 140 or 135, as you guys were mentioning, where he began. And now that he's putting on the extra weight, if he can carry the speed, all the while chucking that extra weight, will he have some pop? I believe so. He got some big ass hands.
He looked slow already. He looked slow against Madrimov.
Yeah.
He started at 140, Gonzalo. Don't let the common misconception at 135 get to you.
Well, what about that? Because a lot of people are saying that. Okay, so in order to lessen the size disparity, Crawford's going to bulk up, and not for nothing, but I'm looking at his shoulders nowadays when he's at the press conference and all that. He does look bulkier.
Well,
Because
wait. Time out.
Yeah.
What do you mean by bulk up? You mean he used to kill himself to move down?
Well, no, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say. Because he claimed, even as far as back as 2018, and I have the Instagram post that was somehow deleted. I don't know if he deleted it or whatever, but before the Jeff Horn fight, when he hasn't even officially a welterweight still, he claimed to have been walking around 177 pounds.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So how the fuck is he cutting 30 pounds? That's insane. I don't know how that nobody ever batted an eyelash because it's Crawford.
Oh, I can tell you how.
Uh-oh.
He's on that. He's on that snack pack. Remember?
Oh, Ozempic, or what is that called? I think that celebrity
snack. Yeah, Victor Conte or whatever. Yeah.
No, but I'm talking Ozempic, or what is that called? The one that Ozempic.
Yeah.
Ozempic. There you go. But so what do you guys think? The bottom line is Crawford going to slow down with that added bulk at 160?
He already looks slower against Madrimov. So I don't know why people are like saying he won't be slow. He looks slower against Madrimov because he wasn't able to cut off the ring properly against Madrimov.
It seems like Canelo's getting more shit based out of his performances that weren't really that great, to be honest. But Crawford isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's the same Crawford as 5 years ago. People who support him, right? Like the Madrimov fight, was a great win, but come on, he struggled in that fight.
It was a great win.
They don't mention it. Why is that?
That's a good point, man. Well, after the Madrimov fight, I've heard people say, "Oh, Crawford won that fight easily." I go, "That was far. If that was easy, if that was easy, then what was the Errol Spence fight? Or what, a super breezy Fabrizi easy? It doesn't make any sense." But I will say this: in terms of mismatches, or so-called mismatches by way of size disparity, Crawford is in a very advantageous position. That is true, because this ain't Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence, where Mikey Garcia didn't have the speed advantage, didn't have the power advantage, didn't have the size or strength advantage. He had no advantages in that fight. This one, Crawford's got a couple of things going for him. A, he's a little bit taller than Canelo, it seems, unless he's wearing sneakers or something that make him look taller. He seems to be a little bit taller. We definitely know he's got the longer reach. So he's got the reach advantage. He's got those extra long arms. And even at 38 years old, he's still plenty quick. So he could potentially outbox Canelo. This isn't a mismatch Spence's versus Mikey Garcia type. Even when Canelo fought Charlo was a taller guy. He was quicker. He can still crack a little bit. So Canelo, by way of his short height, is always going to give these supposedly smaller guys a chance.
I don't think the advantages are they're not enough for him. You have to be taller. You have to be more lengthy to outbox Canelo.
Crawford has a 74-inch reach, 3-inch advantage, almost 4 inches.
Yeah, 3 inches.
Yeah, 3.5 or something.
Canelo's 70.5, like 3.5. You can round it up. The height difference. I mean, Crawford is taller. We saw that in the face.
By how much? Like a couple inches?
Supposedly by half an inch. They say half an inch. I'm telling you, it's more than that. I don't even think Canelo's 5'7". I think he's 5'6". Not gonna lie.
I think it's like an inch difference.
It's an inch.
I have been told that a half an inch can make the difference. Not in boxing, in other areas, but it's still true. It's
the G-spot.
Boxing. Oh boy. Stretch him out is what Amok is saying. You want to stretch him out, you gotta
stretch it out and make it pulsate, you know?
All right, what the fuck?
I'm kidding.
This is a family show.
Get him out of here.
Get him out. All right, Vessel, is this a mismatch? Yes or no?
I'm gonna say yes because of the weight difference. I think people are really I don't know why they're so delusional in thinking that just because he's an amazing boxer, which he really isn't, honestly. He's not. He's more of a boxer puncher than an actual straight up boxer. He's not as slick as people think as Crawford is.
So you're picking Canelo to win the fight, obviously, right?
I of course. I think Canelo will. I think he will win a close decision. This is the crazy thing. I think it will be closer than expected because Crawford's going to fight an extremely negative fight. He already said it in the press conference. He says, "I'm going to go in there to tap and run."
Yep.
Are you guys knowing that? Like, he literally said, "I'm going in there to tap."
Yeah, he said that today in the press conference. Go ahead, B.
In the press conference.
Yeah.
He
Huh.
did.
Tap.
I didn't hear that.
He said tap.
Well,
Yeah.
also Vessel. I want to clarify. You said negative, right?
Oh, no, he said touch.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he's
he
gonna
said
fight
touch.
negative fight.
Okay,
said
no, because
touch.
okay. Every time you say negative, it sounds like you're saying something else. It's like you're saying you're adding an I instead of an E after the N.
I'm not. Calm
Okay,
down.
okay, I'm just saying. I'm just clarifying so that people don't think you were saying something else.
Yeah, I don't know. Crawford's gonna have a niggling type. How about that?
See, my
Well,
issue
that
again.
word. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
My issue is these people who are saying that it's a mismatch, but they're still picking Crawford. So they're picking Crawford in a mismatch. And then if
Yeah, but
Crawford
those
loses,
people-
they're gonna say, "Well, it was a mismatch." You know? Oh.
Yeah, but is it from a tribal point of view, or do they actually watch boxing?
I'm not getting into that, but you know my answer. We all know
Yeah.
why they're picking Crawford all of a sudden. That's why we had some. I'm not gonna name any names, but there were some people on the BDA boxing that left the Discord because they were saying that it's a mismatch. There's no, I'm picking Canelo just because it's a mismatch, not because he's a better boxer. And now that the fight's approaching, they left because they're gonna switch their prediction to Crawford, and they don't want to stay here on the BDA boxing, having said that Crawford wasn't gonna win. Now they're gonna say that Crawford's gonna win, but they want to say it somewhere else.
Amazing.
They want to say it somewhere else. But we know who these
Amazing.
Are you
people
talking
are.
about
Solidus?
that? Are you talking about that Solidus dude? Because I seen his ass. He left. After he was all yip
Yo.
yapping about this is a stupid matchup, and this is useless, and Canelo's gonna knock his ass out. But then he was leaving in there, but every time, right? He was like, but if he somehow managed to win, and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And like, all right, bro. And I remember telling him, Bucho, like, I bet on Fight Week you're gonna pick him.
I
So
was
now I
gonna
see him
mention
on
that.
IBFP over there on his ass. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna
Well,
mention that.
Solidus
I
is the
remember
reason
you
I
saying
can't get
that.
on IBFP anymore. I can't get
I
on there
agree.
because of Solidus. I cooked him once and he doesn't let me on anymore.
What'd you say?
He cooked
I
him.
can't get onto IBFP anymore because of Solidus. I cooked him on there once and he doesn't let me on anymore.
Wait. But how does he decide whether you are on or not?
And
Is
him
it
and the nuke guy are friends.
Oh, so he verbally sucks him off, is what you're saying. That's why you
Yes.
can't get him. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Wait, I mean, are you alleging that IBFP is his friend and therefore won't let you on because of that? Because you're.
I'm not
schooling-
alleging. I'm stating it.
Whoa! Wait a minute. We're gonna have to get to the bottom of this. Let me ask you a question. Let me
ask you a question.
Let me ask you a question.
No, Sobers was right. He called it. He said these guys are gonna start switching. They're all right. Oh, it's a mismatch. But now that the fight's official, they're gonna pick Crawford.
Bucho.
Yeah.
The odds went from like 7-1 to now it's like 2-1.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good because I'm gonna make some money off
You're
these
gonna make some
dum-dums.
fucking money.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's what
I
I was
agree.
gonna say. Every time, so real quick, Sobers. Every time Sobers hears somebody picking Crawford, he starts rubbing his hands like a certain people who are,
Goblin race.
espousing for Iran to be attacked. That's what he starts doing. Starts rubbing his
Goblin
hands.
race. Just
That's
saying,
Simpsons.
the goblin looking, the goblin looking race.
Nah, come on, Bucho. I don't see the eject button. Where's the eject button?
I don't know, but I'm gonna put a disclaimer. Fucking degenerates.
Sorry, it's my autism.
They're gonna
kicking in.
bomb us. They're gonna bomb us now, Amok. They're gonna bomb us. See what you did?
Bomb,
Yeah.
bomb, bomb. Boom, boom,
The bunker
boom.
La
busters.
bomba.
The bomb.
I
Guys, hit
love
the
La
like.
Bomba.
Hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like. If you're enjoying the show, if
So-
you want to support us via super chat, you can do so because the phone lines do cost fucking money, and we're gonna be opening them pretty soon. Go ahead.
Yeah, hit the fucking like button because BDA is paying me slave wages.
That's right. We
Hey,
need to
get a better negotiate a better contract next time. Man. What do you want from me?
So,
get cheese and a Pepsi.
have y'all
Yeah.
talked about the face-off and the aura oozing off Canelo? It had Terrence Crawford over there shook, had him stuttering.
Hey, did you see did you notice Sobers, did you notice Crawford react he was he shook after Turkey said that he didn't want to see any Tom and Jerry bullshit?
Yeah, no, and look, and he made a mistake too because he even tried to be defiant. I don't know what's wrong with these guys, dude. Like, if you know you're gonna do some fuck shit, don't give any hints towards it. You know, he already said that no one's gonna tell me how to fight. I've been fighting
And then he
for
corrected himself.
X amount of years. So it's like, dude, you're already trying to put your foot down, saying if I want to run, I'll fucking run.
Nobody
And,
tells me how to
this-
fight.
but- yeah. So it's like, bro, you're already putting that up in the air. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. If I have to, I have to. So it's like, but he also tried to say that I'm gonna stand there and fight. I do really like that Turkey said that there's a bonus for a knockout. And Canelo, the way he was talking, he knows how important this fight is to his legacy. He says, yeah, this fight's gonna be talked about forevers, my friend.
Whatever. No, yeah.
Oh, wait,
No.
I want to say something before we open the phone lines here. What do you guys think about Canelo saying that Turkey's in Crawford's corner? What do you guys
Well-
think he means by that?
We know that.
Was he
And I'm glad that he
joking?
knows that.
Is that going to affect the scorecards, perhaps?
Okay, well, that's a good question.
No.
Was it a joke when because for people who didn't see the press conference, there were two tables that were separated, and the one side had the Canelo team, the other side had the Crawford team, and Turkey had to sit on one of the. He had to pick a side, and he was with the Canelo on the Canelo side, but he didn't want to be there. He said, like, I actually wanted to be on the Crawford side. Was he joking, or is that true?
I don't think so. I think he likes them melanin boys.
I think he wants.
Yeah,
to
look, he
joke
likes
about
him.
it. Yeah.
He likes him, but he doesn't like that, like you said, that Tom and Jerry bullshit. So he's already, and you know exactly who that was directed at when he said that shit. So,
Mm.
the people in the media know who it was directed at. The boxers know who it was directed at. Canelo's not, no one's telling Canelo, hey, you going to run? You know what I mean? No one's saying nothing like that to him. So
Right.
the pressure's on Crawford to stand there and fight. And not even to stand there and fight. No one's even asking, to like people like to say it's rock'em sock'em robots. Nah, bro, but you have to engage in order to win the round, in order to win the fight. You can't just be disengaging the whole time and think somehow you're gonna win the round that way. Think you're gonna pity pat. This is not Olympic style boxing. This is a hurt business. You can hurt your opponent.
Exactly.
I got a question for you guys. Are we gonna see excessive clinching from Crawford since he likes to wrestle?
Great question. Great question.
I told you, expected negative fight, bro.
That's not running. Hey, guys, that's not running. And Turkey wasn't talking about clinching. He was talking about running. So.
Oh, come on. Listen, clinching's against the rules. Clinching's against the rules, just like running away. And then just like running away nonstop for 30 seconds at a clip.
I agree. And framing still clinching is just another form.
Yeah, people need to start realizing that it's against clinching is against the rules. It's right there in the rule book. The only one that makes some concession is the WBC when they say excessive clinching is illegal. All the other organizations, the IBA, the WBA, the WBO, the Association of Boxing Commissions, they say unequivocally clinching is illegal. And then to get around that, people now starting to come up with a different definition of what clinching is. They go, well, there's a difference between clinching and holding. These are the same type of people that when you tell them, what about people who like to dress up as women? Well, there's a difference between sex and gender. No, there isn't. Now you're playing semantics here, as if they ever had different meanings. Clinching is when you grab a guy, and it doesn't matter whether you hold on for 5 seconds, 40 seconds. Clinching is clinching. Get that out of here. I know people like seeing Crawford grinding on men in different locations, but this isn't it, man. There's different places for that. Believe me.
Hey, talking
boxing
about
is not-
wrestling.
Since you brought that up, I have a question for Sobers. You're saying that Turkey's in Crawford's corner. Are you implying that he's dipping in chocolate, or?
That's what Canelo said.
Maybe.
No, I look. I already know that Turkey gave Crawford this
Stick?
You what?
Crawford for much longer. He gave Terrence Crawford the stinky pinky.
Ah, come on.
Yo, I'm eating fucking popcorn, man. Jesus.
So look. He's been a fan of Crawford for longer, I'd say. Right? That's very obvious. But when he sees these styles, when he sees the way Canelo fights, he knows he knows what he's in for. He knows what gives him more bang for his buck. And that's why, like I said, he had to reiterate no more He
I
said
think we're
that,
losing you.
not to Canelo.
I think Sober's over in Saudi Arabia right now.
Yeah, so he's in Saudi Arabia right now.
Keeping an
Can
eye
you
on
hear me now?
Canelo.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Well, I was saying, the way Turkey, he knows Canelo's style is more bang for his buck. He was a bigger fan of Crawford beforehand, but when he, like I said, when he said no more of this Tom and Jerry style fighting, you seen who the camera panned to. It wasn't to Canelo. It was to Crawford. So
Oh,
there's a message being sent.
I told you guys that was for Crawford too. I knew it.
What?
you didn't say that.
Yes.
Well, that
What?
Madrimov was. He did say that. But
Reckon
it
I
was
said that.
backstage.
Is that so?
I don't remember that.
Hey, but recognize, is this a mismatch? Yes or no?
It's only a mismatch because one guy is used to fighting bigger, stronger guys. They're both the same size. Pretty much. They're both the same size. Canelo might have a little bit more weight on him, but the mismatch comes, I think Canelo fights better opposition.
It's
Bigger
a skill
dude.
gap.
Yeah,
It's a skill
so
gap.
Definitely a skill gap.
and so I think look, they're both skilled fighters in their own right, but one guy is a lot stronger because he's already been fighting guys much bigger than Crawford and stronger. Can Crawford is as strong as Bivol, Triple G, let me see who else. Munguia. Is he as strong as Munguia?
I don't know, man.
Hell no.
I don't think
He's
so.
better
Yeah.
technically,
I
but
don't
he's
think
not. He's not
Right.
that strong.
So Canelo, he's not the only way he can not get hit by Canelo is do that Tom and Jerry style, right? And you already heard Turkey say he doesn't want that. So I can't imagine Crawford saying, you know what, I'm gonna fight this dude in the pocket and I'll box him.
No.
Truly out him. I can see him having his moments and then Canelo catches him and that's it. It's bike time. He's on his bike.
Well,
He's gonna jab
what's
to the
interesting?
body. He's gonna try to extend that jab as much as possible and move around. He's gonna try to pull off a postal win.
You know what's interesting about the Steve Kim, that Tom and Jerry style? Steve Kim went double A. Well, what I mean by that is he went autistic Asian. When he pointed out that Tom and Jerry, there wasn't that much running between Tom and Jerry.
They
but
threw
he
hands,
said-
bro.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the mouse. Which one was he? Who was Jerry?
And
Right?
it was on site too, bro. They got like mallets and shit.
But that's what I was gonna say.
Jerry was
Jerry was more like a Hamas, guerrilla warfare. He said so. What Steve Kim said? Steve Kim said that the actually better comparison is Willie Coyote versus the
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Tom and Jerry, I don't remember that much, but yeah, the other one was more trying to figure out how to catch.
Or like
Yeah.
you know what? Benny
Jerry
Hill.
swung
Benny
back.
Hill is a better. Benny Hill's a better comparison. Benny Hill always running around, people running after each other in circles. That's a better comparison. I didn't see the mouse running that much.
Oh,
And
Jerry,
to
who
be
was
fair
the
to
fucking mouse?
Crawford,
Tom or Jerry? I don't even remember.
Jerry's a mouse.
Okay.
Anyway, I
was
don't
a
like how
rat.
you guys totally dismiss me. I said he was talking to Crawford.
All right, we
Yeah,
believe you, man. We believe you.
I believe you because I literally heard you say that.
Shout out to Sobers because Sobers was the one that was like, "Yeah, I heard, recognize, say that." Shout out
I
to you.
remember it, bro.
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
but recognize. Do you agree that if you're picking Crawford to win the fight, then you agree that it's not a mismatch, right? Not you, but people who pick Crawford.
Unless
Yeah.
you're saying Canelo's the mismatch.
No,
Meaning
no.
Right. If you're picking Crawford and you're saying, well, it's a mismatch, then you're saying, okay, that Canelo's not in Crawford's league. And so then, okay, fine, you can say that.
No. That's not what they're saying. They're saying it's a mismatch because Canelo's bigger, but they're still picking Crawford. How can that be? Do you see a contradiction
Yeah,
there? I see one.
They don't make
It's an
no sense.
oxymoron.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oxymoron.
You either picking Canelo and therefore you're saying the size makes it a mismatch, which I don't know if it's a mismatch because of that. I think if it comes down to it, it'll be because Canelo's been punching through bigger walls than that.
And he's been through a lot more wars.
Yeah, but they're picking Crawford because they say that his skills are much better. He moves better around the ring. He's faster. So even if Canelo's bigger, Crawford's just much better in all these other aspects that is going to lead him to win the fight.
Crawford's going to be on his bike, even if he starts off the fight in the middle of the ring. He's going to eventually get hit with a good shot. I saw that with Charlo. maybe like in the second or third round, from what I remember. And if you remember, Charlo he got hit to the body. It was something like that. He got hit to the body, and he was on the back foot the whole fight. After
What's
that,
going on?
Who's doing cocaine?
Okay,
man?
so-
Come on.
sorry, but I was muted.
No, you weren't doing cocaine. Come on.
I think it was Amok. Go ahead, Amok. Are you okay now?
Sorry,
you
man.
feel a rush?
No, I have a dry
Feel a
throat.
rush?
No, I have
Okay.
symptom that I have
He's playing with his
some
boyfriend.
medical side effects.
Oh.
I was gonna ask, does anybody know what the ring size is gonna be and who's the referee gonna be?
No, the 18 by 18. And the
Hopefully
ref.
it's 12 by
I think it's
12.
a 20 by 20.
It should be.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
think
tell you
it's
something.
standard
If I see Harvey Dock as a referee, I know it's a wrap. Canelo ain't winning this one.
Yo, I told you guys he was shit, and you guys
Oh, it's Las
sometimes
Vegas.
you guys would defend him.
Right. No. What? No, it's not. By the way, the fight's in Las Vegas, so he's going to be one of these Las Vegas referees, right? So, Kenny Bayless?
Oh boy.
Kenny Bill's retired, Butcher.
Oh, really?
thank God.
Oh, is he retired for
Yeah.
real? I didn't even fucking know this.
That's right. And
Why didn't
and all
celebrate?
for the better.
Well, I didn't celebrate. Why?
Let's celebrate now.
I'm going to
Let's
take a
celebrate now.
shot.
Come on, bring out the Coke
I'm
real
going to
nice.
take a shot because this one of the worst referees. He's up there with Joe Cortez.
Well, remember I told you now, I never made a video about it, but it's him
Terrible.
and Cotton, the referee Cotton. I forget what his Eddie Cotton, I think was his name. And it's Bayless and Cotton. And Bayless is talking about how to this day, David Benavidez is still complaining about how I allowed him to clinch. And then the idiot says, like, he's trying to say that there's nothing wrong with clinching. And then he goes, and by the way, Benavidez, he was also doing a lot of stuff that I could have warned him about. So in other words, he's admitting that clinching is wrong by saying that that Benavidez was also doing things wrong. So the guy doesn't think properly. These referees, they rarely get any backlash. They rarely get penalized for allowing the cheating, which is excessive running and clinching. And that dude just let out of the bag. Oh, and then he goes, Benavidez should stop crying. It's like, he's not crying. He's pointing out, and rightfully so, that you're a shit referee. So good riddance to Kenny Bayless.
Yeah, you suck.
Good riddance.
Yeah, shout out to Kenny Shameless. Fucking shit.
But Amok always comes up with these distorted names. Like, he's always good at distorting people's names. Like, he used to was he the one that started calling Jerron Ennis booty anus? Or I don't know who started.
Yeah,
but
I can't even remember, to be honest.
yeah, all right.
Anyways,
Stupid names,
Kenny
man.
Bayless.
Booty Anus, that was Frank Bay Boxing. Shout out to Frank Bay, wherever he's at.
Well, him and CC, let's have a drink for him and rep it, because we don't know what happened to those guys.
Right.
All right. Who else is in here? There's some other people here. We have.
Well, by the way, excuse me, El Tanque says he wants to jump in, but I don't know if there's
Well, we
only
have some
10
people
people
that are
allowed.
here not saying anything. So let's remove people who are not saying shit, and add people who.
Oh.
Wait, somebody dropped.
Neo just jumped off.
Who dropped?
Neo.
Great idea.
All right, let's remove him then. He can jump on later if he wants. All right, let whoever
El
Tanque.
Tanque.
El Tanque.
I don't even know if I have him as a friend here. Oh, I do.
Send
have
him,
him.
just send him a link.
I no, well,
Or you can call him. All right, Gonzalo dropped.
definitely.
But yeah, guys, hit the like if you're enjoying the show. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. We're gonna be opening the phone lines pretty soon. Super chats help accelerate the amount of time that we're gonna be taking. Like before, we need fucking super chats to open the phone lines. How's that?
No.
Just set up a number, bro.
Getting all
Say like
aggressive now.
$20.
Getting all belligerent.
$20. I
Good
don't know.
point.
We have El Tanque here. Yo, what's up?
What up, bro?
Hey, man. Yeah, go ahead.
What's up, bro? What up, Sobers? I mean, this fight reminds me of the Charlo bout, bro. I mean, Charlo was, 73-inch reach, inch less than Crawford. Charlo was also out the ring for like 13 months. No, 16 months. 13 months is for Crawford by the time he steps in there with Canelo. Charlo was coming off a devastating knockout over Castaño. Bud isn't coming off a devastating or, suspenseful win over Madrimov. Long-ass layoff. I think Canelo's going to beat the shit out of him, bro.
Yeah.
Well, you say it reminds you of the Charlo fight. I'm telling you, it's reminding me of the Amir Khan fight. I'm telling you, 6 rounds.
Yo,
Canelo finds his range. You're gonna see
If
his head
you
bouncing off the canvas.
yo, that'd be
if he
crazy.
Yeah,
anywhere near,
I can see that.
if he fights anywhere near the range that Khan fought Canelo, yeah, he's gonna get knocked out.
Holy
But
shit!
if he
Like
fights-
that? Like American?
Yeah, like
No, but,
Whoa!
because
yeah, but
Khan
the
was
issue with
Khan was in
The-
range. Okay, he was using like lateral movement and fast hands, da 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 da, and Canelo kept catching him. I remember in between his punches and just setting that that knockout shot that he knocked him out with. And I think if Crawford fights like that, I
But-
think I don't know if he'll knock him out in 5 or 6 rounds, but he's gonna knock him out. He's gonna stop him for sure.
I don't know about that, man.
the thing with Khan though is that he gets overzealous and he don't mind fighting like a man. You know, I respect to him for going out like a samurai. You got the other fighter. You got the other
Look at
fighter
Khan.
already.
He's literally the bravest Indian I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude. Think about it.
The
I'm looking,
bravest
at the,
Indian.
I'm looking at the American knockdown when he like fucking his head whiplashes and and I'm like, damn! Imagine that's Crawford.
Well,
But
you know,
Crawford got that big head, dude.
Legs on a skirt everywhere.
Crawford already, as Vessel was saying, Crawford's already saying that he's gonna fight like a bitch. So that that pretty much
is.
sums in. Yeah, so he's not gonna be overzealous. He's gonna be fighting scared.
well, the thing
But
about
I'm gonna
that
go
is, look,
fight and I'll be small, I'll be slick,
Canelo has the power to drop people, but he doesn't have the mechanics anymore to end it. As soon all these dudes that taste his power and get dropped, they get on their bikes and they make it the distance. So maybe Crawford, but the only thing is Crawford. Oh, come on. The only thing is Crawford though at 38 or close to 38 by fight. I think he's going to be about a week and a half away from 38 by the time the fight happens. I don't know if he's going to have the legs to keep on moving or survive the way some of these guys did. Also, after he tasted Madrimov's power early in the fight, then he started putting his hands up, but he still dropped him a bunch. But so I Canelo finishing him, I don't know. He hasn't finished anyone in a while now, but he has dropped every single opponent he's fought since the Bivol loss. So yeah,
I think there's a big. I don't know about you guys, but I think there's a big power difference when it comes to Mean Machine, Mad Rim Job, and Canelo. I think there's levels in between all of them. So I think
Why
if
don't
he
you call him
does
like a
get
crazy
touched,
name, like Queef Machine?
that makes sense.
Machine.
man.
Yeah. But like, if he gets touched, I think he might not get up, and if he does, I think the referee might pull out a UK stoppage. I don't know.
You think we're getting a small ring?
We should.
I think it's gonna be an average size ring, like 20 by 20, 22 by 22.
But
I
if
hope
Turkey's
we get
serious
the
about
same-
if Turkey's serious about the Tom and Jerry bullshit, he's gonna choose
But
yeah.
he does. I was gonna say he does like Crawford though, so I don't think he's gonna do him like that. Who he is gonna do like that is Shakur Stevenson. Stevenson
Okay.
and Zepeda's gonna be in a small ring.
Yeah.
Y'all can bet on that one.
Yeah, you're right. He kind of likes
Yeah, I
Crawford.
think he pissed off the Sheik, man.
He respects
They should
Crawford
put
though.
Crawford and Canelo in the same ring they put Ryder and Canelo in.
Yeah.
Well, now it's been two instances of Turkey Al Sheikh explicitly stating that he doesn't want bad fights. Remember when the Shakur Stevenson Cepeda fight press conference took place a couple of weeks ago? As soon as the guy who was doing the moderator, as soon as he asked Shakur Stevenson about it, people are saying that they want to see you fight, and you've said you want to fight, so are you going to fight? And then he goes, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, blah blah. And then as soon as he started saying that, the moderator goes, "Oh, I got a call from the Sheik." What a coincidence! And then the Sheik started saying, "I want to see big fights. I don't want to see things happen again like what happened." He was referring to some of his other dots that he had, and now he's doing the same thing to Crawford. It's like no more Tom and Jerry fights. So it's interesting that he's sort of indirectly telling, he's coming in and starts talking when, or right after these fighters get asked about how they're going to fight. So it appears like he's indirectly sending a message about that.
Yeah, that's bringing back boxing back where it should be. We should be watching boxing, not track and field. Like, what the fuck?
Like, wouldn't you be pissed though if you're a Turkey and spending millions and millions and getting these niggas just to run and shit?
Yes.
Like, I would be fucking furious, bro. I'm actually surprised how after the Haney fight, he just didn't get Haney and started whipping him right there and then. You know, giving him like a public lecture.
Holy shit.
No, you're absolutely right, man.
Whipping him and telling him, I paid you enough, boy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, you know? There's a handful of fighters.
It's interesting. This fight's going to be taking place on Netflix. It's going to be televised on Netflix. The moderator for this one said that this has the potential to be one of the most, or it probably will be the most watched Canelo fight in the U.S. by virtue of the fact it's available on Netflix. You know, in Mexico, people already watch his fights for free over there, but here it's going to be available for everyone who already has a Netflix subscription. And boxing does have the greatest track record of living up to the moment when they hold this mega event. So we can only hope that we do have a good fight. We can only hope that there is something interesting occurring. But you just never know. These guys, they test Canelo's power and then they go on the defensive. Like I said, some people get desperate.
100 million people are going to watch this fight.
I have a Netflix, but out of tradition, I'm still going to stream it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, some people here are, well, I'm not going to point anybody. You know what? I'm actually going to do that like the Sheik. I'm going to indirectly call out certain people who don't. Well, yeah, but this isn't even pay-per-view. It's Netflix. I'm pretty sure some of you have Netflix already, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Everybody got Netflix.
Almost everybody, yeah. But it's interesting, yeah, because, listen, I've said this before. People always talk about, oh, you know, could boxing be mainstream or could it be bigger than it is? It already was. The product itself, it doesn't need any focus testing. It doesn't need any polls. It doesn't need any type of special study. The sport itself, by virtue of the Marquis of Queensberry rules, is already one of the most entertaining sports out there. It just hasn't been done right, and it spent about 30 years hidden inside a cave by way of HBO boxing premium cable. Most people, you know, it just went away, out of sight, out of mind, and people forgot about it. But when it's done right, yeah, back in the 1940s, it was one of the top three, if not the number one sport in the United States. So as a product, we already know it can sell. It's just a couple of things need to happen. The best fights need to happen. People need to start applying the rules, which means no running, no clinching, no cheating overall, and starting to make the best fights happening by eliminating all this talking that we see on Twitter. I want to fight you. No, you don't want to fight me. No, I want to fight you. And they're bickering like schoolgirls on social media. So all of these things need to happen, and we're gonna get a product that's gonna put boxing above MMA again. It already works. It's just that the entertainment aspect of it, the infrastructure needs to get sorted out.
I think this is true. I think all sports are war games simulations. It's like, we do this for practice, of like to prepare for like a war or something. Like, you do team games to bond, to go prepare for a war. Boxing is so beautiful because it's just straight up violence. It's just two people fighting against each other. It's something so primal that everybody likes it, no matter who you are. If you see a good boxing fight, like I have, my wife, whenever I watch a good boxing fight, she stops and watches it. She doesn't like this shit, but she actually watches it because she likes seeing someone get knocked out. Who doesn't?
Exactly. And it is interesting, man, because I guess, like you said, it's a sport that captivates people. They just sit there and watch, and they go, "Whoa, what is this?" And it's interesting. By the way,
people used to have parties to watch big fights. Do you not remember that? Of course.
Yeah,
you would get the family together. You guys would cook something, watch the fight in the background.
That's right. Yeah, it's just a lot of people. Listen, some people don't even. I forget sometimes that there are people out there that were born in the 2000s, and they don't remember really one of the last vestiges of the golden eras of boxing, which is really, it started petering out. By the 90s, it started really petering out. 2000s, 2010s. Now it's sort of making a little bit of a comeback, but for about a good 20 years, it was, especially once MMA came into the fray, it sort of usurped boxing as a premier combat sport. But overall, boxing, give me the best fight in boxing against the best MMA fight, and the best boxing fight, I think it just delivers from an aesthetically pleasing standpoint, because it's all punching.
Would you rather watch a runner in a ring boxing wise, or a dry humping fest in the UFC?
I mean, yeah, I'd rather see a runner.
I'd rather lynch
two guys in speedos.
Is that an option?
What was it? What'd you say? What?
I'd rather lynch both of them.
Oh, come on, that's it. I'm looking at the disconnect button. How do we kick people out from Discord?
No, let him on. Let him on. He's saying funny
Yeah.
things.
You right click and delete System 32.
Well, come
Yeah,
on.
do that.
No.
People, let's
Control
get to
F4.
80 likes, or we won't open the phone lines. 80 likes. I'm
That's
not even
right. Put it on the
asking for
Lucho.
80 likes. We're at 60.
Do you guys agree with the narrative that Crawford is like levels ahead skill wise?
Exactly.
No.
Good
No.
question.
No. Fuck no.
This is what these fuckers are saying. They're saying Crawford's going to win the fight because he's so much better. I mean, yes, he's smaller, but his skills out of this world.
He's
I'm
not
like, I'm not
smaller,
seeing
right?
what you're seeing. He's a good boxer, but he's not fucking Sugar Ray Leonard. Nowhere near Sugar Ray Leonard. What the fuck has he done? Let's go through his fucking wins. Gamboa, Postol, he looked like shit in that fight. Sean Porter was almost he retired right after that fight. Spence Jr.
And that was a UK stoppage too.
Okay. Well, his father stopped it, right? Oh, who stopped
Ricky
it?
Burns.
Yeah, but you remember
Ricky
I think it was Frank Bay that pointed it out. How Kenny or was it Sean were like signaling each other, and then he threw the towel.
Oh, yeah. But you think it was a UK stoppage? I mean, I think Porter was out of.
Yeah. Yeah.
His dad threw the towel. It wasn't
Yeah.
a UK stoppage. The dad threw the
Yeah,
towel.
I know it's still a UK stoppage. Like, why are you throwing in the towel?
What do you mean though? When the court retires your fighter, it's not a UK stoppage, bro.
That's a UK
What?
stoppage, bro.
Anyways, Porter retired right after that, so he had one foot out the door. Spence Jr., same shit, basically. I mean, the guy's retired at this point, so.
Does he even have a Hall of Famer on his record? On his resume?
I think Spence Jr. is gonna be in there for sure. Just 'cause
Spence is probably gonna be the Hall of Fame for no reason, right?
yeah, for no reason.
That's crazy.
Because he
Somebody
beat Mikey
mentioned Ricky
Garcia.
Burns.
I went through Arrow's resume, bro, and it's very lackluster.
Wait a minute. So if Crawford beats Canelo, are you guys gonna say that he got beat by a mediocre guy?
I would say that.
Yes. I would say
Of
yes.
course, man. Why not? I'm not one of these type of people, man. But I'll give him credit if he beats Canelo. Of course, I have honor.
If he beats him, it'll be
Yeah.
one of the greatest underdog
if-
victories ever.
What did Canelo say, my friend? Don't worry, he's not gonna win.
Exactly.
I know, but here's the thing, though. No,
I
but
like
guys,
I like when you
guys,
said you know different. You know different.
if Canelo wins, is he gonna get credit? This is why I'm asking this question. Is it a mismatch? Because again,
No.
you have these people who are saying
He
it's a
has to get
mismatch,
credit.
but they're picking Crawford to win the fight, so it's not a mismatch.
Hey.
If you pick Crawford, then you accept it's not a mismatch, and if Canelo wins, you gotta give him credit.
Bucho, that shouldn't even be a question, bro, because he didn't even get credit when he beat Triple G.
True.
Interesting.
He doesn't get credit for any win, bro. If he beats these younger guys, oh, he's picking on them. If he beats the older dude, it's because he's old. Like, the dude never gets credit, so it doesn't really matter. He's just going to add another fucking name to his resume.
And I'll mention something. And Crawford gets credit for everything. And I'll tell you what, like Crawford, he gets credit for that Madrimov win. Okay, sure, he won, but he struggled. But nobody mentions that he struggled. But when it comes to Canelo, he struggled against Cole because he couldn't stop him. He couldn't stop Berlanga. He couldn't stop. And they just dissect his last fights, and they start saying that he's finished. But when it comes to Crawford, he's in his prime.
Yeah.
It's a
I
great
think
point.
it's a tribal thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just it's the media. The media is against Canelo. I'm not even joking here. That's what I don't know. I guess they
Well,
want
you
a
know-
Rocky movement.
Well, I'll say this, man, that the moderator for today is really trying to instigate. I like instigating certain situations to make it more interesting. That's for sure. And that's what they have to do to a certain extent during the press conference. But there's a way to do it. This dude he twice asked about Canelo looking bad against Cole. Like he kept bringing it up. Some people said you look bad. What did you think? And then he asked Terence Crawford. Okay. Then he asked Terence Crawford. This I couldn't believe. He goes,
Oh yes.
if this were a street fight, if this was taking place in the streets, who would win? And then he has the same thing to Canelo. I'm thinking, a street
Yo, what
fight?
the fuck
What does
was
that have
that
to do with
question?
anything?
What
It was weird, man.
That was a ridiculous question.
He was like, all right, Crawford. Now let's keep it real. You Canelo in a dark alley at 3 a.m. Who walking out of there, bro? You know what I mean? Like,
Your
what the
wrestling
fuck?
skills. Your wrestling skills. Like, what the fuck was that question?
Can you smell me?
Imagine if
Canelo-
Canelo would have got.
Look, Crawford. Look, Crawford. Hold on. Crawford, you and Canelo freestyle rap battle. Who wins?
Ah, come on.
in a knife
You know
fight,
what makes
let's
the
say
best fried chicken between both of you?
you and Canelo in an alley with a knife. Who wins a knife fight? Like, who gives a shit? What the fuck is that question? It doesn't make
You and
any
Canelo walk into the prison shower. Who walks out of there with their back against the wall? It's like, what? No, that was always a weird question, man. It was a weird question.
Yeah, they need to choose better hosts than that. That was terrible.
Hey, Crawford,
By the
who wins,
way-
in a who wins in a shootout between you and Canelo?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what?
That's pretty much it,
If
yeah.
you guys were in a war situation and one of you're fighting with a knife, who ends up like that Jew in Saving Private
Saving Private
Ryan? Remember in
Ryan.
the end there? Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? It's like, what a weird question, man.
Who has a bigger dick? That was gonna be a big next question.
I mean, yeah, he might as well have asked that. Fucking horrible question. Horrible
Should
question.
have asked him who can eat more bananas.
Nah. No, all right. That's it. That's it.
Mercado,
Butcher, I think
let's
we need
see.
to end it. Let's end it. Butcher, we end it here, man. Come on.
We're gonna open up the phone lines. Oh wait, hold on. Did you guys hit the like button? No, only 10 people. My God.
10 people. We're 10 people away. 10 people.
Yeah, 10
more
people
people
away.
hit the like button. We can open up the phone lines. Otherwise, we start talking about who has the bigger dick.
Yeah, you want
Amongst each other.
Video.
They probably want to
Yeah,
hear
I
that.
watch this shit.
I have 3 inches of pure steel.
He's got 3 inches of chorizo, man. Yeah. Yeah, at least he's honest. Come on, man. At least he's honest.
Nah, I'm fucking around.
Yeah, well, like they say in mountain climbing, it's not the altitude, it's the attitude. Same thing with the schlong.
Yeah.
It's a mismatch, but I have Crawford winning the fight. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm still shocked.
Well, by the way,
You're
I
just
was
trying to stay
rewatching.
on code, bro.
Yeah.
I was rewatching the school fight, the Canelo school fight. Yeah, I did it. I did it for you guys, and
I watched it too. I watched it twice.
school was being.
You watched it
way
twice?
over-
What the
Holy
fuck?
Yeah, I
shit.
watched it twice.
and I'm gonna
I'm
watch it. another-
autistic. I actually watch fights over and over.
Did you have problems sleeping? Is that why you watched it twice, or what was going on?
No, I'm autistic, bro. I actually genuinely like watching fights over and over.
No, you're joking. Well, anyways, go ahead, BDA.
Well, I was I rewatched it, and yeah, people give too much. They give Canelo way too much flack for that fight. I mean, there's just very little you can do against a guy who's constantly moving. Even when he had him pinned, when Canelo had him pinned, the guy would leap into the air. I mean, I'm sorry. People say, well, he didn't cut the ring off. Yeah, he did. That's why he had him against the ropes. But then when the guy leaps and continues running, what are you supposed to do? Were you supposed to leap with him and punch him midair? Like, it just makes no sense. I don't think people really understand that it's a very difficult endeavor to fight somebody that much on the defensive. And the referee really should have deducted some points for that, because it's been done in the past. People love to say that, by the way. Well, clinching was allowed in the past. Yeah, that doesn't mean it's right. I don't understand this argument. Well, it used to be. Yeah, I remember when.
Yeah, they used
One
to
guy-
get point
one guy-
deduction in the past too.
And even if they didn't, that's because of the referee not following the rules. So again, this is
Exactly.
the argument from time. Oh, well, in the past days, people, nah. If they allowed it, well, guess what? It shouldn't have been allowed. Number two, I remember when people used to say about holding behind the head. There was one guy, I think it was Sahir Rahim versus Rocky Juarez. He continued holding behind the head, continuously held behind the head throughout the fight. Referee deducted a point. Some people in the media were aghast, like, oh my God, he deducted some points, which made the difference in the fight. And people were saying, well, Muhammad Ali did it against Joe Frazier. Yeah, guess what? He should have been deducted points for it. Just because you're an all-time great breaking the rules doesn't mean you're allowed to do it, and that everyone else should be
Exactly.
allowed to do so. So, yeah, the referee really should have deducted some points for School, because he did warn him. He said, hey, come on, man, let's fight. So evidently there was something that was going on that caught his eye and forced him to intervene and make that statement. And that's the other thing is, people are so that's what I was trying to get at, that people are saying Canelo should have done more. I'll say this. People are saying Crawford has more tools than Canelo. He's got this, he's got that. One thing that I definitely know Canelo has an advantage on is the defense. He's still, I mean, say what you want about him not being able to catch School, whatever. Whenever he would open up with a big shot and School would think, okay, now I got him. He's opening up with a wide looping hook. I'm going to be able to counter. Canelo would transition from that offense to defense real quick. He's still sharp with that defense. So I don't think he's shot like people are saying. I just think it was an ugly fight for him.
A lot of people think it's gonna be like Errol Spence because they think Errol fights kind of like Canelo, but it's not even close at all.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree. No,
That's
they,
an insane. That's a crazy idea for someone to think that or say that.
they think
Yeah,
Canelo
because you
has
know how
no
they go.
defense.
I mean, they're both flat-footed.
But I know. But I
Yes,
know what you're saying.
exactly.
Rick. I know
It's
exactly what you're saying.
flat-footed, basic, flat-footed, swinging like crazy. This is what who said? Oh fuck! I think it was Timothy Bradley. Canelo's gonna be swinging like Rocky or something. Are these people stupid? Have they followed Canelo's career?
Bro, they don't know anything about boxing because they think Crawford is like Mayweather, which he's not. Crawford has never been a slick fighter.
I don't want to say this, but it's something.
He's not a slick fighter. I mean, watch his fights. He's not a slick fighter.
No, because he's African American. He's black and he's slick.
But he's not a slick fighter. Even if he's Shumpert, he's losing rounds, bro.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I brought that up.
I guess
on
fucking Ryo, what is his name? Whatever his name is. It's like Benavides. He was losing rounds against Benavides until he stopped him.
I think Canelo's he's the real slick fighter in this fight.
True.
Like
By the
his
way,
pocket game is stupid, bro. Like he can fucking block, he can bob and weave. That dude is ridiculous when he's in front of you and you're trying to hit him.
Yeah.
Hey, we need 5 people to hit that like. 5 more people hit that like. We can open up the phone lines. It's only 5 people.
We'll open the phone lines.
Takes 2 seconds to do. And by the way, just want to, because again, people are picking. People are sometimes when you talk to people about who's going to win. One of the arguments used to prop up Crawford's chance of winning is that so many experts are picking him. Here's Teddy Atlas's expert commentary and analysis.
Oh my gosh, I hate that guy, bro.
This was from months ago. By the way, just for reference, Teddy Atlas also picked Charlo to beat Canelo. But this is what he had to say about Crawford.
Teddy Atlas is Jewish. Remember that.
This is what Teddy Atlas had to say. I think you know where I'm leaning. I'll make it even clearer when I'm leaning so there isn't a lot of suspense. I ain't going against Crawford. I do think he's that special guy. That special guy. I think Canelo's special too, but Crawford even more so. He hasn't learned how to lose yet. I think he does have those special ingredients that go beyond the physical. So that's it, okay? You don't like it, too bad. I don't understand that argument. He hasn't learned how to lose. So as long as you don't learn how to lose, you won't lose.
Let's break it down. What does that mean? He hasn't learned how to lose. Who learns how to lose?
You gotta go to school for it or something, get a degree?
Yeah. I learned how to lose now.
I gotta watch out.
I swear that's why I said this.
Yo.
What they're gonna say. You know, these guys. You know, he's slick. He's got the skills. He doesn't know how to lose. He just got that dog. Have you seen him wrestle? He's stronger than he lets on. He hits harder than he lets on. He got that mean streak. He likes to fight. He's not like these other guys. He's not gonna get hit hard and run. He likes to fight. He has an ego. He's gonna get in there. You're not just gonna hit him. He's gonna want that back. These are all the kinds of things I say about him, right?
He has that dog.
Until he gets knocked out.
He's
Always get knocked out.
Yeah.
He's taking a bullet to the head. He doesn't get knocked out.
He's getting knocked out.
It's not even things you can prove or you can see on a video. It's intangibles. You know, he has a dog. He has the X factor. He hasn't learned how to lose.
It's literally
What does
just
that
saying
mean?
he got
I
the
can
dog
say
bill
that on
without looking at
anybody.
words.
He's mean.
He's mean. Yeah, right. He wants it. He's
mean.
hungry. He's hungry. What the
Well,
fuck?
think about it. Think about what he
In the
said.
streets.
He got too much pride. He got too much pride just to let Canelo
Yeah,
beat him
Canelo
up.
doesn't,
You know what I
right?
mean?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that these are the same guys that are shitting on Ryder, and they're literally describing Ryder. I would actually pick Ryder to be fucking Crawford, to be honest.
Well, I mean, that dude, Ryder's shaped.
Whether or not Ryder could beat Crawford or not, is like this dude, bro. When Canelo when he's hitting Canelo and it's not doing anything, and Canelo starts hitting him and it's doing something to him, I want to see how much of he's mean show up. That dog, that special guy. I want to see it. I'm not saying he don't have it. I need to see it for myself. Because
I think
when he
they're
hits Canelo,
describing
when he hits Canelo, real quick, when he hits Canelo and it doesn't do shit to him, I want to see what he does when he's getting hit back and he's like, oh shit.
What do you think's gonna happen when Canelo hits him with that left to the body?
His punches hurt, and my punches don't hurt him.
Right.
They don't hurt him.
I mean, you know what? It seems like people think this is gonna be this is Roy Jones versus John Luis, and Canelo's playing.
Hey, BDA, if he could hurt Canelo, if he could actually hurt him,
okay, that's it.
different ball game now. Now we're talking about a different fight. Okay,
I think Canelo's gonna. Yeah.
Ready
but
to
if
connect.
he can't put a dent on him, it's over.
It's
over.
over.
It is over. But yeah, that I mean, listen, people here is criticizing
You're
Crawford,
connected
and
as
it's
the
just we're
host.
just criticizing Crawford right
Welcome,
now because
host. You are now
barely
in the
any
host
people
room,
are doing
and
it out there.
manage
So
your
we gotta
callers from
shift the
the
balance.
call-in
But
studio
Crawford definitely
resident.
has a path to victory. I'll say that he has got a path to victory. But we're just pointing out the inconsistencies here that we're hearing from some people. In case in point, Teddy Atlas. I just want to reread this part here where he said at the end. Crawford hasn't learned to lose. I think he does have those special ingredients that go beyond the physical. So Sobers and we talked about this. That they always use that cuisine.
The sorcerer.
That's what I was going to say. That Sobers and I have talked about this before. How people reference cuisine lingo and terminology for fights. Like he's got the shake and bake. He's got the sauce,
spices.
swag. Yeah, he's got the swag on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's got the swag on. They need
So
all
basically,
that sauce.
they're just saying a lot of buzzwords and terminology.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. This is fucking Teddy Atlas, the guy who's always bringing up, hey, I trained Mike Tyson. I trained Mike Tyson. This is the best analysis he can give. Special ingredients that go beyond the physical. He's got that X factor.
He's got
that
the
dog.
secret recipe.
Well,
the Colonel's recipe.
I kind of agree to Teddy Atlas. I think he does got that dog. I think he's gonna turn into a greyhound once he gets played by that left.
Exactly.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
The only way,
around.
the only path, the victory for Crawford is if Canelo gets deported the day of the fight.
Exactly. Yeah. Great
That's
point.
the only way.
ICE. He's gonna call ICE. He's gonna give him a hot tip, like, hey, anonymous
Tell him
tip, hey
before the
man.
fight.
I think this guy, he doesn't have papers, man.
What
Go
is
get him.
Canelo Alvarez? I had to deport him. He wasn't following the rules. He was breaking all the rules.
They go, he had weapons. We had weapons. Tulsi Gabbard says he doesn't. Well, Tulsi Gabbard doesn't know what she's talking about. That's what he's gonna say.
Gabbard does not know what he's talking about. I know Canelo very well. He's somebody I used to shake hands with, but he's been breaking the law. He's breaking the law.
A country of love.
I have a question for anyone that's calling in that has that's picking bud, that says that Canelo's on the decline since the Bivol fight. So you guys are telling me that Crawford only chose Canelo because he's old on the decline, just like he chose Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Amir Khan, and Kell Brook?
Oh, wait a minute.
Good point.
Hey guys,
That's a good point.
The phone lines are open and we have a phone call. Oh wait, I have to switch something here. Give me 2
See, I was
seconds.
gonna defend Crawford against what Tanke just said, but I can't. His logic is foolproof right now, I think.
All right.
Tanke, we gotta give you that one, man. You took it.
Yeah,
You went in there and you took it.
they say that this dude has been on the decline for what, the last 7 fights?
Apparently.
Damn, it's a crazy decline though. Then
It's a
Yeah, that's
steep
fucking
decline.
crazy.
Fight.
It's crazy that the dude is on a decline. He's still favored to beat the greatest black fighter ever, according to a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what it is.
Yeah,
All right,
well,
let's take a phone call. 442. You're on the air. 442.
Butcher, we can barely hear you, man.
Oh,
Hello?
shit. Yo,
Yeah, we
442.
Hello?
Yo.
You have to switch to. Yeah.
Crawford is not in Sugar Ray Leonard's league.
Uh-oh.
Well, I
Who's
mean, listen,
blacker, though?
Crawford.
Yo. Yo.
Man.
Can you hear me?
No, barely, Bucho, barely.
What? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
she
man.
turned into a mouse.
Yo, check your microphone level through the operating system and Discord.
Hey, hold on. Yo. Can you guys hear me? Better?
Barely, man. I mean, a little bit better, but with you, I don't know why. You switch to the line in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, switch it back to the focus right, and then again to a line in, and maybe that'll fix it.
All right.
Okay,
We're
here,
just
Butcher.
having,
Hello.
we're just having some issues here.
And then
Okay.
back
You
to
hear me?
line in.
No.
Yeah, we can hear you. Recognize.
Yeah,
No,
if
can you
heard
guys
me,
hear
I
me?
said I can hear Bucho fine.
Oh, you can't hear me.
Motherfucker.
You need to
All right,
boost
now
my volume.
Bucho, you sound very low, man.
Fuck.
Yeah, you sound like you're in
Just-
Gilligan's
just-
Island.
Okay,
I think
real
they
quick.
fuck-
Okay, real quick. Hold on, guys. This is important. Just crank that gain on the what you
I
call it,
did.
DBX that you have.
Oh.
It's either the output, which is I think it should be the first or last knob, one of those. The one that says output or input. And start talking so we see if the volume's going up.
Wait, the one that says output?
It should be the
either
input, no?
Yeah, output.
Oh, okay.
And just start speaking. Start talking at the same time.
Yo.
Yeah, see, it should be the input. Try the input
This is
now.
better now.
Yeah, you sound fine to me.
Nah, you don't sound. You still sound low, and now it's hot on top.
Yo.
Sounds like Womack, get your phone, bro.
Yo. Yeah. Now?
I
What
don't
about
know
now?
what's going on.
Guys got Obama phones, bro. I'm the only one with real phones.
Hey, Butch. Worst case scenario, what I can do is I can take the calls and just patch them through here.
Oh, you're right. All right, try that.
Yeah, because I don't know why you sound way too low, man.
I don't know.
What if he disconnects and comes back? Would that ruin
He
the
already did that. He already did.
Yo. This is better?
No.
Damn. All right,
Why does he sound good to me, but not to you guys?
All right, now I'm back to focus, right? But you won't be able to hear the
Now you
phone
sound
calls.
good now.
Yeah, but now you can
sound
hear.
good.
You won't be able to hear the phone calls. So BDA, you take the phone calls if you can. He's gonna try it.
Now we can't hear.
I don't
Now
know.
we can't hear you.
Someone in
You-
the chat said you sound like Teddy Atlas.
Old? Wait,
are
he sounds
firemen.
old, Jewish, and dumb.
Crawford has the X factor.
Here's the extra sauce.
Crawford, yeah. I don't want to be racist, but he's black.
He's got that extra sauce. You like going to McDonald's and you get the Big Mac and they give you the Mac sauce and you say, give me some of the extra sauce. That's what Crawford has. He has the extra sauce.
And you order a Big Mac meal, he comes with an extra sauce. That's what he does.
You go to the Mexican spot. Let me get 2 tacos and they only give you 1 sauce. Let me get some extra sauce. That's Crawford. He gets the extra sauce.
I remember.
And you order
I
a
remember there was
carne
that,
asada, it comes with extra carne asada.
I remember there was that.
I like
the
this
video.
oxtail. I need it more spicy. Go ahead, BDA.
Thank you, Teddy. There was that video game there where he used to do the commentary.
Flawless.
Remember, he used to do the commentary for the video game, and he was committing the same malapropisms that he used to do. First of all, he's talking about the physiques, and he goes, "That's like one of those physiques you see over at Venison Beach." It's like, what the fuck is Venison Beach? He meant to say Venice Beach, but he goes, Venison Beach.
Fucking botched it. Yeah, it's Venice Beach, you fucking moron.
Oh. And by the way, Repit called it. Repit said it a long time ago. He said, because Teddy Atlas' infamous story that he put a gun to Mike Tyson's head. You guys remember that story?
No.
Yep, I remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
you got
and-
pressed with his niece or something.
Or
Yeah,
sounds
and
like
Rupert said-
white man versus black man situation. The white man always got always got the gun.
yeah,
The black man's head.
Ah, come on. But
As
he
it should
said
be.
that. But okay, hold on. I'm taking calls, by the way. I'm taking that the phone lines are open.
Yeah,
Make sure
guys, the
you're calling
phones
people.
are open. Yeah.
Don't make us wait. But yeah, so Repit made a good point. He said, "Oh, Teddy Atlas thinks he's a badass because he placed a gun on a teenager's head." And he said, "You know what? When you put a gun on someone, it's because you're ready to use it. It's not like a self-defense situation. The fact that he put that gun on a teenager's head and then didn't even pull the trigger. So was it really worth it putting that gun on Tyson's head?" And I said, "You know what? Repit made a good point. He made a good point."
Yeah, it's illegal to brandish a gun like that.
Yeah, and I think in the state of New York, where they were, I think it's illegal to discharge a firearm too within the city borough. So he was breaking rules all around. We got a phone call. Let's see if you guys can hear it.
I think he gave that scar to himself, BDA.
Ah, come on.
To make himself look tough.
Yeah, we can
So
hear
we got
you.
a phone call. Fellas.
Yep.
We got a phone call. 413. You're on the air. 413. You're on the air. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? You hear me?
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, you can hear him.
Yep.
Yeah, man, you guys talking a lot of junk,
Oh,
bro.
hold on. Terminated call. What the fuck? Terminated call. All right. First of all, I couldn't hear him.
What? I can hear him.
Yeah.
You can hear me? I'm
I gotta
driving a
open
tractor trailer, so I don't know if you can hear me.
I gotta open the shit here. How do you open that
apologize.
the second
Oh,
screen so that you can actually hear the?
You just spread the cheeks, BDA.
No.
Oh, BDA, I could hear him because I had that shit open myself. Okay, I closed it now. Yeah, I closed it.
All right, on phone line. Call back. Call back.
Call back.
For
the call-in
Piece of shit.
You can use two hands.
Call back, you piece of shit.
Well, I didn't
Yeah, that's right. Call back, faggot.
Nah.
Can
Come
you
on,
hear
stop.
me still?
Yeah, I can
Who's
hear you.
somebody on? Yeah,
Yeah, we
somebody
can
on.
hear
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear him.
Yeah, man, you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
BDA, can you hear him?
Yeah, now I can hear him.
Okay.
I can hear you guys.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We can hear you too.
Hey, BDA, ask
ahead.
any questions.
Go
man.
ahead.
Crap.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
I'm trying, man. You guys keep going in and out.
All right, well, just talk. Who cares what they say?
You can just keep talking.
All right, you guys are saying that, oh, is this a mismatch? And I say no. It's not a mismatch. I think this is a good match. Both same height, both going to be the same weight. The only thing that Canelo has is that he's been fighting in this weight class a couple years longer. That doesn't mean that Crawford doesn't have an opportunity. I think, him getting related to the weight, I think he's already fought guys in this weight, in sparring, but maybe not in the same high level. But I still think he has a chance. But it's not a mismatch.
Okay.
So you answer the question of the day. That's good. Who are you picking to win?
I am picking Crawford to win.
Break it down.
Break it down. I think Crawford's hand speed and his IQ is going to help him defend Canelo's one left hand punch that he always does. That's all he has. It's the left hook. I think he can neglect that by moving around, not running, by what do you call it? Stepping to his left. That's all he's going to do is negate that power.
I think
Canelo say, I don't only have power. I have skill too. Has he shown his skill before? Yes. But his last 4 or 5 opponents, he hasn't had to use that. So I think you're gonna lose it if you don't use it.
Well, let me ask you this though. You said Canelo only has one punch. And by the way, I agree that Crawford has a path to victory. I keep saying it over and over. But I do sort of just got to ask you, when Canelo dropped Charlo, he did it with a right hand. Same thing with Ryder. He's got a good right hand. I'm just curious, where you get?
It was a straight right hand. That is true. He does have a straight right hand, and I think that what tickled. I'm pausing. Let me stop. Go ahead. You go ahead. Finish.
No. Keep going. I didn't say anything.
Okay. I think Madrimov hitting Crawford with that right hand constantly, at least twice in every round. I think it was just a tickling for Canelo to show that he can use the right hand as well. But I think Crawford's IQ is going to definitely tease him.
All right.
He's going to tease Canelo. That's all I did.
Tease.
How do you measure IQ?
Well, hold on.
His cheese. It's a old school gaming terminology, meaning he's gonna find a way to win.
Okay, I get it.
It's when you find an unconventional way to win something.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So because we gotta move on because we got a culture. But caller, why do we call you so we can write down your prediction? What's your nickname, name, whatever?
Yeah.
Tone deaf.
Tone deaf. All right. Tone deaf. Bucho, can you write that down?
Yeah, what he said?
Tone deaf. He's a
Prediction?
Crawford by decision.
Okay.
Crawford by knockout.
Crawford by knockout.
No, knockout. He does say knockout. Okay.
Crawford by knockout.
There you go. Write it
Crawford by
down.
knockout with the same damn punch that he hit freaking Spence with, that he didn't see, nor did any of us see on camera.
Hey, caller, but to be
He had to
fair,
let it-
Errol Spence couldn't see
he had
shit
to let it-
anyways.
Huh?
Yeah,
To be
was that
fair, Errol Spence can't
What?
see, bro, at all.
he's saying that Errol Spence can't see.
Hey, that's probably true.
Wait, he
All right.
he said he's gonna hit him with a punch that we can't see, but we did see the punch. So I'm confused.
All right, listen, we gotta move on. We gotta
No,
move
you
on.
did not see it.
All right, we gotta.
Are you implying he's like Goku and just going instinct mode or some shit? I
Did
don't know.
Spence see the speed limit that night?
Guys, give me a second. I gotta say bye to the caller. Caller, thank you for Tone Deaf. Thank you for your call. Call back next time, right, man? Take it easy out there.
Got it.
Super chat.
Appreciate you, man.
Super chat. Marty McFly with another super chat. Thank you for your super chat. He says, Billy Joe Saunders was a timed uppercut and Kirkland overhand right. So this guy's disqualified.
Disqualified.
Munguia was also an uppercut.
So what, we can write down
Yeah,
his
you're right.
prediction?
Yeah,
Is that what the guy in the chat is saying? We can't take his
Well, he's missing.
Yeah, because this guy's Deftone or Tone Deaf, whatever his fucking name was, said Canelo only has a left hand, which is
Yeah,
retarded.
he has a bunch of punches.
I think he admitted that but no. To his credit, then he said, "No, you're right. He does have a good right hand."
Okay.
All right, let's go to a phone call here. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Let's go to 213. 213, you're on the air. 213. What's on your mind? Hold on a second. 213, you're on the air. 213. What's on your mind? Yes, you're on the air.
No. Yeah. Like I see this two ways. You know, it's either Alvarez by decision or Crawford by robbery.
Hours by decision. Okay.
By knockout or Crawford by robbery. The whole thing is like if it's a fair fight, Alvarez is gonna knock him out. But like in his last fight with Madrimov Crawford, I think he got a gift. I think that was a robbery. I think that guy lost that 8 rounds to 4. If it's a straight up fight, Crawford's getting knocked out. Now Crawford is not gonna run. He can't. Like we seen it at 154. The extra weight didn't help him at all. So he's going up 2 weight classes. His only hope is to wrestle. He's gonna hit Alvarez and he's gonna hold. He's gonna hold him. He's gonna hit him. That's all he's gonna be able to do. That's the only way I see him winning. It's the only way he's gonna win this. If you see that fight with what was that guy at welterweight, Horn? You see how he got all physical with him, Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was getting physical with him, hitting him, holding. He could try that with Alvarez because he doesn't know how to fight that way, and he's not good with runners. But I don't think they're gonna let him run. You know, this guy already said no Tom and Jerry fight. So his Crawford's only hope is to do an Andre Ward, hold him and hit him and hold him. You know, and he could do that because he with Horn. You know, he was able to fight that way. That's the only hope I have for Crawford. If it's a straight up fight, he's getting knocked out. He's gonna get from your countryman.
Let me get to the panel here. Let's see what the panelists have to say about that.
He said Andre Ward, so he means low blows too?
Yeah, Vessel is asking, when you say Andre Ward, are you including low blows into that game plan?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, they're gonna let him. They're gonna let him wrestle. They're gonna let him hit him with low blows. Come on, man, we've seen it before. And Turkey already said he wanted to be on Crawford's side. So yeah, I mean, you know, anything could happen. At first, I'm like Alvarez is gonna knock him out. Now I'm not so sure.
Interesting. All right, so who are you, caller? So we can write down your prediction. What do we call you?
My name is Elver Bota.
Ese güey.
¿Qué dijo?
El Vergota.
Oh, el Vergota.
Oh man, come on, man.
What's
El
it?
Vergota. He dropped out. He said, okay, so he said El Vergota said Crawford, if it's on the level, Canelo by stoppage, and if it's not, Crawford by decision.
All right.
Shout out to El Tanque for catching that. I didn't catch it.
Yeah, me neither.
La Vergota, man.
I thought he said gato con botas.
I said something. I heard something about botas. I said, what? The Latino boots Ennis or something. But anyway, shout out to El Vergota for calling in. Let's go to our phone call. Let's go to 910. 910, you're on the air. 910. What's your mind?
Hey, what's up, man? How y'all doing?
Doing fantastic, man. What's on your mind?
Man, just to talk about the topics. You're talking about my prediction of the fight. I mean, honestly, and I want to talk for a minute because I honestly feel this way. You know what I'm saying? I honestly feel like it's going to be a 12-round belt to ass whooping given to Cinnamon by Bud Crawford, and I don't see it happening any other way. I mean, y'all talk about. I heard the last caller speak about Madrimov in the last fight, and he felt it that Bud didn't win that fight. But honestly, I mean, CompuBox. I was watching that fight with Skull, and I don't think Cinnamon did enough to beat Skull. I feel like he fought him to a draw. And so if he didn't do enough to beat Skull, you don't think y'all think he's gonna do enough to beat Bud Crawford? I don't think so. I just don't believe that to be true.
All right. So your official prediction is Crawford belt to ass beating. Do we have that correctly?
Yeah, 12 rounds. And I mean, do you feel like Cinnamon's last performance is? I mean, do you feel like that he could even deal with somebody moving around the ring? I mean, throwing and hitting them, because Skull threw more punches than him, and they landed almost the same amount of punches. But the difference is Crawford is going to be hitting them and keep hitting them and hitting them and keep hitting them. He's going, like, what do you say, touching? He's going to keep touching them. That's what's going to happen.
All right. Before anybody else on the panel jumps in, sorry. Bucho, can you just write down the prediction? Caller, what do we call you?
Yeah,
what's your nickname?
Yeah, I need your name.
Oh, you just call me Nas.
NAS. All right, Bucho, can you write down the prediction? He says Canelo, Crawford, belt to ass whooping. All right, so hold on. Who wanted to say something? Was it Sobers?
I want to ask him something real quick. Let me ask him something really fast, because I want to ask you, you don't think the bigger gloves and the added weight is going to affect Crawford's movement and speed? Because, I mean, you're comparing Terrence Crawford, a 154-pounder, trying to move like a legitimate 168-pounder in William Skull.
I think he's going to be quicker.
Damn.
If he wants to be. But I don't think he's going to move as much as Skull, but I think he's going to be quicker if he wants to be.
I think, Amok, did you want to say something?
Yeah, he said he was gonna touch him. Was he gonna touch him like Diddy, or is he gonna just jab him?
Come on. We're trying to have a serious conversation here.
I mean, he's going to violate him. He's going to violate him. It's going to be violated.
You see what he said? You see what he's saying?
All right. I think Sobers wants to say something too, or maybe I misheard.
Yeah, are you gonna put money on this fight, caller?
Oh, I mean, I think it's going to be a 50-50 fight. You think Canelo's going to be a favorite? Because if they make
wait.
money,
I just have
your prediction, brother.
Oh, I'm putting some money. I might put $2,000 on it. They make them plus money.
Please do that, please.
This could be a better investment than Bitcoin in 2010.
How about a $10 bet? Like, if I lose, I'll donate 10, and if you lose, you'll donate 10 to the show.
Donate to what? To the show? No, we don't need that.
Yeah.
We don't need that. Hey, caller, the odds
No,
are.
respectfully, I'll donate. That's nice. That's a nice bet.
No, but
like
hey, caller, the odds are already 2-1 for Canelo. So it is a good. If you really feel that way about Crawford winning, then it's as good as bet as any right now. It's 2-1.
Oh yeah, right now. I mean, 2-1 is not good enough odds for me to really put money down on it. I mean, just saying okay. I don't bet that often. But if they get too crazy, I will, because I feel like that's ridiculous. I feel like closer to fight time, it'd probably be a 50-50 fight, because everyone should know the truth.
All right. Well, we shall see. We shall see indeed. Nas, anything else you want to say before we move on?
Hey, Listen, I just hope after this 12-round beatdown, La Raza and the black people, we can still be good. That's all, man. Y'all have a nice night.
Hey, look,
All right,
I just
take care,
hope,
bro.
I just hope you call back after the fight.
Oh shit!
Okay.
I just hope you
hope you don't
honor that
disappear,
bet though. Are we gonna bet or $10
Hey,
donation?
Boots, you think you're not his
Loser
number,
has to
bro?
donate.
You need to get his number so we can call him back.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, we don't.
his number.
Numbers here, but
Yeah, I need his number so I can call him collect.
okay, you fucking suck.
Collect.
I was gonna collect afterwards.
All right, move on.
Let's go to the phone call. Let's go to 713. 713, you're on the air. 713, what's on your mind?
So guys, it's very terrible. And disappointed in you guys didn't make a sketch about Mobia, kind of his steroid test.
Well, hold on, Greg. I can barely can't hear you all. Are you on the Bluetooth or on the speakerphone? And if so, please get off it because I can barely hear you.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, please, fellow callers, please don't use the speakerphone or the Bluetooth because it distorts the
Can you hear me
audio.
now?
Did you get off the Bluetooth? I can hear you, but did you get off the Bluetooth?
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess this is as good as
Speakers. Get off the speaker.
Get off the
Not on
speaker.
speaker, too.
Okay, go ahead, Greg. Terrible. Go ahead.
Oh, whatever.
Can I say something real quick?
No.
I'm disappointed you guys.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I'm disappointed in you guys didn't make a Munguia special and him 80 going up steroids. They really are the juice crew now. You know, Canelo, he's tainted. He's just a tainted fighter. He just shows errors of boxing. I'm ashamed to say that this fight's going to be 50-50 because, Crawford is coming up to super middleweight. He's a welterweight. Canelo, he has problems against runners. They're almost the same size. Actually, Canelo looks bigger on the face-off, even taller. But I don't think Canelo's going to knock out Crawford, nor Crawford's going to knock out Canelo. But if this goes to distance, it'll be 50-50. If it's shorter, good. But if it's not, that means Canelo's on his way out. So that's predicted by other boxing experts. And man, you guys let me down. No Munguia, Reynoso pet usage in boxing special. I didn't really like Canelo because his brother boy Stint. He's always punching fighters before he got famous, backstabbing Golden Boy, and then picking choosing fighters now and steroid usage. And Eddie, I thought Eddie Reynoso was a higher level box trainer or coach, but now we got the pets scheme going on. Man, that dude, he's junk now. Might as well throw Eddie Reynoso coaching in the trash. That's my prediction. Go 50-50. If it goes to the distance, I'd either fighter with a shame. But I don't expect more from Crawford. Unless hopefully he lays him out.
All right, well, hold on. Before you hold on, two things here. One, you need to make a prediction because you're saying 50-50. Yeah. That's not a prediction. We need to get your prediction. You need to pick a winner.
I was going to go the distance. I would not be impressed if Canelo goes the distance, nor would I be impressed if Crawford goes the distance.
But who are you picking?
I'll be
I'm asking
unless you're picking a draw.
Name and prediction.
Who do you got? Who do you got winning?
I'm picking a fan. I'm picking a fan.
What is this?
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. Greg, he doesn't want to. All right, hold on. Amok, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm about to throw armadillo, rat meat, and maybe crocodile on the grill right now.
All right.
Wait, what?
He's Oscar Valdez now all of a sudden. What the fuck? All right, Greg Terrible. You used to pick a winner. That's fine. We'll let you off the hook for this time. But if you call back near the fight, we're going to press you on it. You need to pick a winner.
If you call back, get a better phone. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, you're good. You guys are good. Thanks for having me on the show.
All right. Take it easy.
All right. Take care. All right. Super chat. Super chat. We have a super chat from Don Chile Relleno who says, who says Canelo's going to knock out. He's going to knock Grover from Sesame Street the fuck out. Who's Grover? Was it the guy in the trash can? Oh, who's Grover?
No, that's Oscar the Grouch.
So who was fucking Grover? I don't remember. Man.
The only black
Grover?
Sesame Street character.
Oh my god! All right, why are we getting all racial here? What's going on?
Greg Terrible said he wanted us to do a show on.
Oh, Grover's the blue guy.
Oh, okay. I don't think there's there's no black puppets.
This is Grover.
Oh, that's Grover. Yeah, the blue one. All right.
Yeah. So Greg Terrible said
There's also racial undertones with that one too. Come on.
I think so. I don't like it.
Can you guys hear me, by the way? I don't know if
Yeah. Go ahead, BA. Go ahead.
It kind of looks like Crawford, though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, this is Crawford.
I mean,
give it cornrows as Crawford.
Are we gonna focus on Grover for all show? Come on, what's going on here? He doesn't look like Crawford. Stop it.
Just give him cornrows, BDA.
He kind of does.
He's Crawford.
All right, I forget it. Oh man.
Phone calls. Any more phone calls?
We still got the phone calls, the phone lines open, so people call in. You need to call in. How long have we been on the air for? How long have we been on the air for?
1 hour, 58 minutes.
No, I think it's time to go then.
Really?
Oh, how long do you want to stay on for? It's a Friday night. 2 hours?
A little bit longer? A little bit longer?
Just a little bit longer.
Yeah, you got a hot date, BDA, or what? What you got going on?
That was
bro?
going
I
on.
got a couple of hot dates. I got a couple of hot
Well,
dates.
people call in or we're shutting down the phone lines. How's
You
that?
got a couple
Call
of
in.
girls in the basement all tied up and shit, you know?
I got I got the left hand and I got the right hand. No, I'm kidding. Now listen, yeah, people call in. Oh yeah, okay. So this was gonna say. So Greg Terrible said that he wanted us to do a special show on Munguia testing positive, which again, he did test positive for that B sample as well. Something weird is going on. But I wanna reference, because it just boggles the mind. You're telling me that Reynoso, who's got all this money, is going to be using the same old shit, testosterone or whatever it is that he's giving these guys and getting caught time after time. He doesn't switch anything up. Whoever he's working with, because he's not coming up with these PEDs, they're not switching it up. And I always found that weird. So this is what Memo Heredia had to say, who's an expert when it comes to PEDs. He gave PEDs to the whole Jamaican racing team or the track and field, and they never caught them. The only reason it came to light was because Angel Memo Heredia, by way of that plea deal that he made, had to reveal this information. So he said, possible outcome on Munguia testosterone positive finding. 1, he used a cream or gel. 2, someone gave it to him, not telling him what it was. Or 3, someone touched him intentionally with a cream or gel. The fact is, synthetic testosterone is extremely impossible to be in supplements. So that is a good question. It's like, how the fuck did he take this? And are they just taking the same old trash PED that they know they're going to get caught with? So Memo Heredia is bringing up some good points. And you shall remember Tank Davis in the build-up to the Ryan Garcia fight, when he was going ballistic at the weigh-in, and Bernard Hopkins tried to put his hands on him. And he said, don't you fucking touch me. And then he explained later on why he went ballistic, because he said, you never know what they're going to rub on you. So it wouldn't be surprising if some people do this. They rub the gel on you, because that's all it takes, by the way. It's the gel. They rub the gel on you and boom, you test positive. Or there's an adverse finding in the bloodstream. So it's very suspicious, very suspicious. I will say this, if indeed it's true that the Reynoso is somehow affiliated with all these positive tests, then yeah, something needs to be done about it. But I will say that it's interesting that Ryan Garcia has also been thrown into this mix, because he used to train with Reynoso for a while. So they're throwing him in there with him by association. But I said it before, when it comes to the Bomac team, the Bomac sphere, the gravitational pull that he elicits by way of his sheer size, nobody ever brings up the shenanigans that go on in his team, because all his guys appear to be weight bullies. Terence Crawford weighing 177 pounds.
Talk about the exploding glove.
Didn't Amir Khan pop dirty under Bromac?
Yes.
Wasn't that under Virgil Hill?
No, I think it was under Bromac. And then Ryan Garcia popped dirty under Errol Spence's trainer.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is about the Bomac team is they're all overweight. Terence Crawford weighing 177 pounds. Shakur Stevenson, again, Shakur Stevenson is not he doesn't train with Bomac, but he does train at the gym. So when people are blaming Ryan Garcia and attaching him to Reynoso, we can do the same thing with Shakur Stevenson and Bomac. He also blew weight. Then you got Keyshawn, blowing weight too. Keyshawn Davis blowing weight. So there's something going on there with the Bomac team too. That's something that goes under the radar for a lot of people. So I'm just saying, if we're gonna start casting aspersions on every trainer, we got to keep it consistent. And listen, I agree. If there's enough evidence that that Reynoso is up to no good, he's cooking up shit in his lab, then yeah, get him out of there. Get him out of there. Same thing with Bomac. Fellas, don't forget to call in. Phone lines are open. Call in. Otherwise,
people.
I was gonna say nobody ever talks about the exploding gloves. What's that about?
Yeah, that's weird, man. That's the one that people don't want to touch. Okay, it happened once. Okay, twice, exploding gloves, and then he's cheating on his wife. So you start wondering, well, if he's cheating outside the ring, is it impossible for him to be cheating inside the ring?
That was like his one redeeming quality for me. I thought he was cool because he was loyal to, his little fatty. But what do you tell us? What's that dude's name? Shay? Nigga got baby on the way. All right. That's how you talk to your wife, bro?
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck? And by the way, I was listening to the last episode of the 3 Knockdown Rule. Steve Kim and Mario Lopez, they had Rudy Hernandez. And Rudy Hernandez, just off the cuff, said he called Crawford a bad guy. Selfish guy, I think he said.
Really?
So I'm thinking, a guy like that, it's probably one of those guys that when you press him on, when you finally catch him and you press him on it, they go, well, everybody does it. See, that's what, that's always the same excuse in anything in life. Well, everyone does it, so, why not?
Well, look, check it out, BDA. So everyone talks about how he got shot in the head. He's so tough, this and that, cranium of steel. But they never asked what he did to get shot in the head. Was it on accident or did he earn that bullet?
No,
right?
He was playing game of dice.
Another thing. Look, another thing. He probably did cheat on some dice. Another thing.
That's what he did, bro.
That there's that incident he had. He got sued by a mechanic because he had some work done on his car, and then he wanted to take his car back. He didn't want to pay the guy. He went up to the guy's shop with some thugs, and there's surveillance footage of it while they circle around him. The guy talks about how he gets scared, and Crawford just like lowers his car down from the little elevator, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm taking my vehicle back now. I'm not paying you shit." So like this guy, he's not a nice guy. He's not a nice guy.
Well, I'll say this. The other call, Greg Terrible said Canelo's still, like he's saying that he's guilty still about the PED thing, which he was absolved of, by the way. But they still want to say, well, once a cheater, always a cheater. Apparently, how come people don't apply the same thing to Victor Conte, who provides supplements to Terence Crawford? This guy got caught cheating. He got caught cheating. He's in the sport now. I mean, think about it. He was caught. Well, he wasn't even caught doing it. He only came out because of tax papers and not tax papers, but papers that they found in his dumpster. That they found out that he was purchasing and supplying PEDs. But technically, none of his athletes ever tested positive for anything. So he's an expert at creating masked PEDs. Who knows if he's doing it now? Because even he says that the testing in boxing is shit. So what I'm saying is, once a cheater, always a cheater. Well, who the fuck does Terence Crawford have in his corner but the cheater? It makes no sense that people really are trying to skirt around that issue. Now, very few people want to bring it up, and it's really confusing. We got another phone call here. Let's go to a phone call. Let's go to 210. 210, you're in the air. 210, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, guys? Southpaw down here in Texas.
Yo, Southpaw, what's up, man?
Not much, man. Just got on. Y'all talking about Canelo Crawford?
The question of the night is this a mismatch?
I think kind of. I got Canelo winning this fight. I mean, that's the easy money. This is a weird fight, bro. It is a weird fight. Usually, you see like the young lion coming up in weight, like the way Mosley did, the way Pacquiao did, to take out the O-line because they see the lion is older or they know something about him, the way Freddie Roach knew about Oscar De La Hoya because Valero was beating his ass in the gym. But this is a weird fight. This spell is more of, I'm leaning more towards Pacquiao Mayweather area when it comes to this fight because Bud is older, 38. He's inactive. He didn't look good his last fight. I think Canelo's over the hill, but I think Canelo's the favorite, and I think he's going to win the fight. it's a weird fight. Like, what does it mean? You know what I mean? If Bud wins, everybody's gonna be all, oh my God, Bud. But I think Canelo's past that. I think prime for prime, or if Canelo was still Canelo of like 2 years ago, Canelo would have wiped the floor with him. But it's weird, man. It might just be like a Mikey Garcia Spence kind of fight where, you know, it goes the distance and just one guy is just shooting a 22 at a guy that's carrying around a 357 Magnum. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense, man. Like this fight, I never really liked the fight. I'm like, what's the point?
Well, I remember there was one fight. I forget which one it was, but I kept telling people it was going to be an ugly fight. And then I said, I don't want to rain on people's parade, though, so I'll stop saying it that often. Every time you call in, you say it's a shit fight. Are you going to be saying that? Are you going to be complaining about this fight until it happens?
No, I mean, honestly, I don't have a dog in the race. I'm rooting for a good fight. I want it to be a good fight because it's going to have headlines. It's going to be on Netflix, so that alone is going to push it. Which I hope it doesn't come on too early, because that's another thing I don't like about it, is that they're going early so the UFC can take the evening fight. So that to me, that is like, fuck, man, why we bending the knee to the UFC? But I'm hoping it's a good fight. I really want it to be, for real. Like Mayweather Pacquiao, I didn't have a dog in the race in that one either. I was just, man, please be a good fight, because all eyes are on the sport. You know what I mean? And we need this. And it was a dud. So I'm thinking it's going to be a controversial draw. I think they're going to rob Canelo. I think it's going to be kind of like an old man's fight. They're both going to be looking like they're fighting underwater, because Canelo already looks like that. And Bud, how can you predict he's going to do anything? He hasn't fought. It feels like he hasn't fought in 2 years. And the last fight he had, he didn't look good. And then before that, he had a year layoff. You know what I mean? So this is a weird fight to predict. And I think it's just going to be an underwater fight between two guys that are past it. Canelo's going to get, because they want another fight. They want a trilogy. And like Canelo says, hey, Turkey's behind you. And Turkey's going to be sad. But that's weird to say. Like, he was saying that right in front of Turkey, which is kind of like an OG move. I respect him for that. Like, he's telling Turkey to his face, like, yo, man, your guy's going to lose. I know you're in his corner.
Well, the last thing you want to have is Turkey behind you. I mean, you never know what he's going to do. But listen, we got to move on here, Southpaw. Thank you for calling in. Oh, by the way, hold on. We're taking early predictions.
No, but hey, you know the winners are going to be? One more thing. You know the winners are going to be? There's going to be a controversial draw, but the real winners are going to be the baby mamas. Because I don't know if y'all saw, man, Tito the Superstar just came out with Canelo has like 4 kids with 3 baby mamas now, and now Bud has another one on the way. Man, they're going to need that child support, bro.
Yeah, that ain't no joke. Yeah, that's a lot of money. All right, well, listen, Southpaw, we got to move on, but thank you for your call. Call back next time. Take it easy out there.
That guy.
All right, man. All right, that was Southpaw right there, who said it's going to be a close fight, and even said that Canelo's going to get robbed. We'll get his full take at another time here. Let's run another phone call here. Let's go to 205. 205, you're on the air. 205, you're on the air. 205, what's your mind?
What's up, BDA? What's happening?
Oh, Uncle Charles. Uncle Charles, what's up, man?
Man, let me tell you something. I'm really excited for the fight. I know what's going to happen. Crawford's going to show his brilliance. Once again, let me explain something to you. Mm-hmm. See, Canelo is like a tiger. And everything around him he owns until he gets to that damn lake. And then an alligator raise up out there and eat his ass. Now, I don't see a lot of operations in my life. Long operations, hard operations. But have you ever seen a foot to the ass operation? Oh, get your 3D glasses, because it's going to be a foot on the killer. Because that foot will be in his ass, and it's going to take him at least 2 hours to get it up out of there. Let me explain something to you. Crawford is walking in his destiny right now. I don't know too many players that get shot in the head, ride things up to the hospital, get operated, and walk away alive. He done that. So he's built for this moment. He's ready for this moment. Canelo, because you big, that don't mean nothing. You ever read the story of Samson? Have you ever read that? He was stronger than everybody. But goddamn, Delilah tricked his ass. And when he woke up, he had no goddamn hair. And he had no strength. Well, guess what? You're going to get your hair clipped, Canelo. Once it's all, you're going to be in there with a real killer. So let me say this in closing. Uh-huh. Now, I know about a lot of flavors, 31 flavors, Baskin Robbins. And I go in and they give me ice cream every now and then. But do you know that you cannot eat ice cream in the middle of the sun? Why? will cook ice to a milk, and you'll add some milk with it. So get your ass in the house with some air conditioning, and that won't help. And that's all, like I said, BA.
Wait.
Take the call for the knockout. Appreciate you.
All right, Uncle
Hey,
Charles.
caller. Do you know the Muffin Man?
Yes, sir.
Was that a tanky? What'd you ask?
If he knows the Muffin Man.
Who's the Muffin Man?
I'm asking, you know the Muffin Man.
Well, he hung up. I don't know. But shout out to Uncle Charles. Always appreciate him calling in. And you know what? I can't go against scripture. When he brought up Samson getting whacked by King David.
But he didn't even use that story correctly because Samson deviated from God. That's why he lost his power.
Well,
is that from the Old Testament?
Yeah, that's the Old Testament, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
but
don't
it's
listen.
really
We don't go
what
by
happens when you deviate from God's will.
That's the old covenant.
Well, there you go. But that is the old, which we don't
Those are the old ways.
I like how this new narrative where they say it's David versus Goliath, Bud versus Canelo, but Canelo been David for so long they think he's Goliath now.
Oh, that's a see.
Damn.
A motherfucker's been David for so long. All these motherfuckers thinks he's Goliath.
You know what, El Tanque? I thought he had you there. I thought Uncle Charles had you there with the when he brought up the scriptures. He had you on the ropes, and you pivoted out the ropes. Now you got him on the ropes.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
Fact, bro.
Shout out to El Tanque. Shout out to El Tanque.
This is old head battle.
Yes, that's right. You know what? I'd like to have a show once where we just trade scripture.
Any more phone calls? I'll just shut him off.
No more. All righty.
Oh, you shut him. You shut them off.
All right. Well, I'll mute myself because otherwise there's a bunch of speaking going on here.
All right.
Ucho, what do you think about the AI image here? It looks like Crawford,
wait.
right?
I need to show it to people. He kind of does look like
straight up Crawford.
Like Crawford.
Did you guys watch the interview Crawford gave to Usman and Cejudo?
Yes, I watched that.
I didn't like his answer when he said the only reason he picked Canelo is because Canelo's small.
It's the only reason he's picked anybody.
What?
Yeah, he literally.
Yeah, that's the only reason he picked anybody.
They asked him, if you were to beat Canelo, would you give David a fight? And he said, come on. He said, that dude is 6 feet and he'll rehydrate to, 200 pounds. And then he's like, dude, I already told you the only reason we picked Canelo is because he's a smaller guy. He's like, he's my size. I'm like, damn, you're picking this dude off of just the high side, bro. You picking this fight for the wrong fucking reason.
Well, look, the same people that convinced Crawford that he could beat Canelo were the same people that convinced him on his Twitter timeline that he could sue Bob Arum successfully for racism. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you can't sue Bob Arum, dude. He's Jewish. They always win, bro.
No, bro, but people convinced him on Twitter that he could. And those are the same people who told me he could beat Canelo.
That's straight up stupid as fuck, bro. Imagine suing a Jew. It's like...
All right, we're on YouTube.
I mean, whatever, right? Bob Arum's a lawyer. He was a lawyer before he got into boxing.
Okay, that's not surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all right, we got some predictions from people. Some people are picking Crawford. They think that Canelo's gonna fight away he fought Skull. I don't think so. I don't think anybody can fight like William Skull. I mean, the guy was literally running. So my prediction is Canelo by stoppage. It's
are you gonna write that down, Bucho?
I wrote it down. If you look on YouTube, yep. I said
I didn't.
Bucho says Canelo by stoppage.
Knocking his head off his shoulders.
All right.
Sobers, same thing.
I'm gonna write it down.
No, Amir Khan style knockout. I'm telling y'all.
I still don't want to give mine, but I'm honestly thinking it's going to be a controversial draw. I don't know why. I have this weird feeling Turkey
might want a rematch.
Set up a rig.
Maybe he wants to set up a
that's
trilogy or some bullshit. All right, what we can do here is we can do an open lines for like the remainder of the show, I guess, so we can get other voices. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the Open Lines Friday server. All right, guys, I'll see you there. All All right, guys, on YouTube, you can still hear me. So if you want to join, we are at the Open Lines server. I'm going to post a link. By the way, the connection looks like shit. Can you guys hear me okay? It's on red. All right, there's the link. If you guys want to join.
Come join us. You know what, Bucha? I'm very surprised that people are picking Crawford. Like a lot of them.
I'm not that surprised because, like Never Sober said, a lot of people were gonna start to jump ship. You know, at the beginning they were saying it's a mismatch, but once the fight was announced, all of a sudden, you know, the tribalism kicks in and they start picking Crawford.
But it's the William Skull fight too. It's that performance.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That Williams. Yes, go ahead.
But,
No,
but
that's what I gotta say.
But Nova, you
And I
can't ignore
also
the
got
Majima fight too. He looked bad.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But that isn't as recent, right? Like the most recent thing is the Canelo performance. So I think that paid wonders for the fight because now people are more excited about it.
Yeah, you're right. If Canelo just knocked out Skull, people would be like, why are we even having this fight?
Exactly. The fact that it was a dud performance, it's got more people excited. So it was brilliant in a way, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't trust Turkey. So I'm gonna go Bud by robbery.
Dude, I'm seeing a draw because I feel like Turkey wants like a trilogy.
You know what I haven't heard from any of the callers or anyone is how the fight is actually gonna go down. Both these guys are counter punchers. Canelo is not really known for throwing a lot of punches. You know, he throws very little. He's more of the real counter puncher, if you want to say, because people say he's not active. Well, Munguia threw a fuckload, and Canelo was extremely active that fight. So is Bud gonna be active? Who's gonna be the dude that's gonna be really active in this fight, bro? That's what I want to know.
It has to be Canelo.
Yeah.
I don't think Bud's not dumb enough to risk it.
I mean, Crawford doesn't want to be exchanging with Canelo. That's for sure. I don't know. I can see a robbery. I could see that. What do you guys think in the chat as well?
It's only gonna be a robbery because it's a black guy.
I mean, I think so. I think Turkey wants Crawford to win. He wants to host a fight where the underdog come out victorious, because then it's gonna be some sort of historic moment, and he wants to be part of that. So he wants Crawford to win, to say, I was there.
You think that's a narrative?
Yeah, I was there when the smaller guy beat the bigger guy, blah, blah, blah. That's what he wants. He wants to be part of that.
Someone pointed it out earlier. I don't know if this is true or not. They said before Fury and Usyk fought, everybody thought that Turkey was behind Usyk, but when the fights finished, they thought he was behind Fury, and at the end of the day, he was behind Usyk. And then with the Better Beef, Bivol is the same thing. Everybody thought this dude was with Better Beef, and when the fight ended, he was with the other guy.
There's no loyalty. No, he doesn't care.
I mean, if he is about the money, which all Arab people are, they're about making a fuckload of money.
Yeah.
The best, in his interest, the best thing to do is Canelo win without no robbery. Then you can make the Bivol fight. You can make the David fight. There's money to be made with the Mexican. The other dude might fucking retire.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that makes me feel like maybe not a robbery, because he has Canelo on for 3 more fights, so it'd be kind of stupid to, you know.
But what does he want to do with Canelo for 3 more fights?
One of them is Eubank. The last one he said is going to be Benavides, and I don't know the next one. I guess the middle one.
Who said that?
What's his name? Benavides himself said that Turkey talked to him, and he said that he wants him for the last fight against Canelo. Yes.
They're talking about 200 million. That's crazy.
Yeah, he said 200 million.
It depends on what Benavides does from this point forward. If he keeps obviously winning and looking impressive, because in my opinion, he hasn't looked that impressive lately. That fight against Vostik was garbage. And even against, what's his name? Morel. Sure, he won, but he didn't look like a monster, in my opinion. So if he wants that Canelo fight, he needs to keep looking like a monster or start looking like one.
He's supposed to fight in October with Callum Smith. A lot of people are excited, but I'm like, man, this fight is 5 years too late.
Yeah. But that might be the fight that makes Benavides look like a monster again. So that would help his career in a way. He would have to avoid Beterbiev or Bivol because I don't think he can beat those guys. And if he wants a Canelo fight, then he has to maintain his undefeated record. So I think the plan is just to keep him safe, defend that WBC belt that he got via email, and just, stay active, undefeated, and wait for the Canelo fight.
Oh yeah, he's a PBC fighter, man. That's how they move.
Right. That's right. All right, maybe we should end the show. I'm getting a bit tired here. Fuck, it's been 3 hours. All right.
I
Yeah.
think it's a pretty good spot to end it, to be honest.
Yeah, fuck it. Maybe I'll go off the air or something later. All right. See ya.
Let me just say something else
Yeah,
before you
go
end
ahead.
it.
Go ahead, thank you. Closing comments.
Alexis Rocha beats Brian Norman.
Okay.
Interesting.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah. Brian Norman, everybody's excited about this guy, but I mean, who the hell did he fight? Like,
bro, Jin Sasaki was a nobody.
Yeah, literally a nobody. I think even Sasaki admits he was a nobody. So, yeah, no, that's a good fight.
Yeah, Rocha, and resume-wise, he's probably been the most tested one of all those talked about 147-pounders.
Yeah. Yeah, because I asked a question on the community section of the channel. I asked, is Brian Norman Jr. the best welterweight right now since Boots Ennis has moved on to 154? But yeah, Alexis Rocha is right up there. So
he's on the what? I thought he won his last fight, but they had to give him that draw so they wouldn't ruin the other undefeated fighter's record.
Yeah, what's the other guy's name? I forgot. It was a personal feud fight.
The dude is pretty damn good too, though. Don't get me wrong. But they fed him 2 undefeated Mexican fighters back to back, thinking he was gonna lose, and the dude keeps looking better and better, man. He's only 27 too, so
yeah.
It's not like the dude is. Yeah, that's the fight I want.
The draw was against Curiel.
Yeah,
right, Curiel.
There we go.
I think he won that fight too. So
yeah, I think everybody agrees on that one.
I think they wanted a rematch or something, but who knows?
We live in a weird timeline where Rolly can actually unify. I think he beats Norman.
Rolly against Norman.
I'm just saying. I'll be honest.
Know, man.
But stylistically, he's not very wrong, bro.
Yeah, I think he fights well into Norman, and I think he fights well into anybody that's there. So
he's not a welterweight.
I was surprised. No, he's not. He's 140. But I was surprised with the performance he gave against Ryan. Like, he looked good.
He showed up, bro.
He fucking was very patient. He wasn't, doing the normal shit he does where he's just throwing out there to throw. I was actually surprised by the dude, man.
I also think Ryan Garcia had something to do with that performance in the sense he didn't do shit. Like, how can he be that afraid of Rolly Romero?
That guy's a nutcase, bro.
I wouldn't put too much attention to that. Like, Pitbull Cruz. He stopped this guy, Rolly Romero. So
that's true.
How good is Rolly Romero? How bad is Ryan Garcia?
How weak is welterweight right now?
How weak is welterweight?
A barren. It's barren.
I mean, Alexis Rocha might become the dominant welterweight at this point. Who knows? There's really nobody.
I don't know. You guys should check if you guys are a welterweight champion, because I feel like I am at this point. Like, anyone can do that.
Yeah.
Mario Barrios is there.
Oh, well, we got to see what happens with Pacquiao. I mean, Pacquiao, if he wins,
What if? How crazy would it be? Pacquiao comes back and then fights welterweight. That would be like all-time great status.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Anyways, all right, guys, let's end the show. We're dragging it here, but thank you for joining us. All right, guys, thank you for being on the show. Really appreciate it. Everybody on YouTube, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for hitting that like button, the super chats. We will definitely see you soon. And that's pretty much it. Have a good night. Let's play some music. Wait, let's switch it up. What is this?